Di ko lang kung naispatan siya ni KLB doon. Mukhang oo, nakita mo yung flick of the wrist. Nakapunto ka niya.
Has to be careful, but he gets the shot. And he
Uy,
gets the trouble.
grabe!
Receiving play pa. Tuguan na nga ngayon si Cetra. Elvin nakabantay. He's gonna get one. And also two huge.
Nakaya, pero wait lang, hindi pa rin tapos yun. Kailan ng action. Masusundan pa. We are gonna be seeing prevalence rate here dito sa house.
Ano dun, no? Flash grenade. PSA! Kitang-kita niya sa KFP!
Today marks the beginning of a brand new chapter as Southeast Asia's finest CROSSFIRE teams collide on the international stage. Welcome sa lahat dito sa CFS SEA Masters Spring 2026 Week 1, Day 1. We've got rising contenders, mga seasoned veterans, mga possible dark horses at marami pang iba. Mochi at Salvatore nga pala dito sa panel desk. Salvatore, kumusta ka naman?
Okay na okay lang ako, boss, Madam Mochi. It feels good to say once again na meron ng CROSSFIRE ulit sa taon ng 2026. At di na tayo patatagalin pa, papuntang May no? Sa buwan pa lang ng Abril, meron na kaagad tayong tournament and it's so exciting. Ang daming bagong storylines, ang daming bagong pakulo ng mga teams, roster moves, off-season, yung mga pagpa-practice nga nila para patunayan na sila nga dapat ang tutukan ng mata. All of those, magkakaroon na nga tayo ng pintura nga dito, no? And finally, there's now a platform para dito sa mga players na to na ipamalas ang kanilang lakas sa CROSSFIRE.
Of course. Lalong-lalo na dito ang ating mga Indonesian representatives as well. So ito ang ating overview. May direct invite tayo from the top 4 sa ating regionals finals last year. At merong mga galing sa spring qualifiers and as well as sa Rosea.
Grabe, no? Not much on the playoffs, pero may kita mo talaga, Mochi, nakakapanibago na from top 8 now we have top 10 teams, and from top 4 we now have 6 possible teams na magka-qualify for playoffs. No? That is a breath of fresh air. Ang ganda ng patibong nga ngayon ng CROSSFIRE nga ngayon. At ang nakakapangpagana pa talaga dito sa mga teams na to. Alam mong mas mainit na yung competition, no? So hindi na lang basta 4 yung teams na tututukan natin heading into playoffs. There will be added 2 more contenders na posible pang manggaling dun sa impact nga last year, no? At kitang-kita nga naman dun sa spring qualifiers na yan, pre. Sa 4 teams na nakapasok nga dito, no? Grabe nga naman yung pinakita nila during phase 2. Pero wag na rin nating mamaliitin ang mga nakapasok nating kaibigan wala sa Indonesia.
Of course, no? Dito rin natin malalaman kung meron nga ba talagang gap dito sa ating CROSSFIRE scene so far or wala pala talaga. Malalaman natin yan mamaya. Pero ito ang mga maps natin. It's still the good old maps that you know and we love. We have Ankara, Black Widow, so on and so forth. And I believe meron atang mga bago din na ipapakirin dito yung mga teams natin kasi may mga naririnig-rinig akong umaaligid-ligid mga chismis na dahil nilang niluluto
Aba. Lalong-lalo na yung mga teams na pumupulot ng compound, no? Talagang kailangan nyo nang bigyan kami ng magandang luto para masabi nyo, kami na ang hari ng compound. At eto nga pala ang ating participating teams, no? 4 of which galing sa Regional Finals 2025, 4 mula sa ating Phase 2 ng qualifiers, at 2 mula sa rest of Southeast Asia, no? At ang pinaka talagang nag-stand out dito, no, Mochi, is not even the team. Ang nag-stand out dito yung isang team na hindi nakasali ngayong taon. Pacific Macta or Pacific Esports, for the first time since 2012. Wala silang Pro League na lalaruan at lahat ng mga miyembro ng original Macta ay magkakahiwalay-hiwalay na nga ngayon. And syempre, sa kinalulungkot ng marami, talagang mapapaisip ka, nasa na nga ba ang Pacific Macta na yan? Pero at least, the spirit lives on sa mga teams na hinahawakan nila ngayon.
And individually, doon na rin nila mapaparanas o maituturo din siguro kung ano yung mga nakuha nila sa dekadang paglalaro nila ng CROSSFIRE and how nila mai-import ito sa kanila mga kasama. So again, it's just a matter of time before we can even see kung paano magkakaroon ng cross between traditional and as well as innovative gameplay dito sa ating mga teams so far. Lalong-lalo na every single year, laging merong bago, laging tumitindi, lalong lumalala yung ating competition. So that is also the beauty na meron dito. So there's a lot of dreams that is currently here so far and it's already up to them kung meron nga bang masisira dito as well.
Gusto ko naman talaga yung idea no na parang every year naman nagkakaroon tayo ng CFS, ang narrative na nabubuo talaga palagi natin no Mochi is siraan ng pangarap no? Kasi pangarap talaga ng mga teams na to is makapag-qualify to the international stage, and so far ang nakikita pa lang talaga natin na hindi natin natatanggal sa pwesto is Virtus.pro and Team Stallions. Ngayon, dito natin mahanap yung sagot Mochi sa tinagal ng spring qualifier sa rest of Southeast Asia, sa ginawa ng execration at matches sa off-season. Ang katanungan sa marami, sabi ko nga doon sa video ko, sinong makakatanggal sa hari sa kinauupuan niya, at parang eto na ata yung taon na yun para sagutin yun.
Yeah, that is true, no? But siguro chill na muna tayo pag sumunod kasi sobrang intense nating in-start to eh. Kasi I believe meron tayong maliit na minigame na kasama natin ang ating mga magiging casters maya-maya. And actually straightforward naman ang ating minigame. It is just solving the fragmented or scrambled crossfire related words natin. Kaya naman welcome na natin sila, Sneaky Frog and as well as Ramon. How are you?
Ay. Parang nagulat sa akin si Salvatore. I do not look that ethereal, pare. Pero yun nga, we're feeling good. We are in Sea Masters finally, no? Hindi lang Pilipinas ang included dito, kundi ang Indonesia as well. And I'm very, very hyped to see the games today. Kasi it's been a fair few months since the last time na nag-cast tayo ng Crossfire.
Yeah, actually, feel ko nga na excited tayo lahat. We've been looking forward to this ever since natapos tayo last year nung natapos ng second place nga naman, which is very, very proud for us on Team Stallions ng Grand Finals. Ngayon, we're setting the mark. Kasi syempre, hindi lang naman basta-basta dapat silang dalawa yung nasa tuktok. There's an opportunity for everybody to come out on top, and an opportunity as well for Indonesia to take forward.
Alright, and there you have it, no? Of course, no? A lot of stuff and a lot of us are expecting that some names will be prevailing this time around, or if merong ba magkakaroon ng changes, we're up for it din naman. We're open for new narratives, to say the least. So, other than that, no, I believe mag-start na tayo. Actually, alam nyo guys, share ko lang, hindi ko alam kung ano yung mga sakot dito. Pero, alam nyo, makikijoin na lang din ako sa laro natin, which I think is going to be fun. So, itay lang natin din kung ano yung mga ilalatag dyan na mga scrambled letters natin. Direct ilapag mo lang dyan anytime. And papaunahin ko sila dito sa kung ano yung mga words na iyon. At ayan na. Good honor, Leon. So, baka may hula na kayo.
What?
Sige, meron tayong countdown for 5 seconds. Tapos tignan natin kung tama nga ba ang inyong mga kasagutan. In the count of 5, 4, 3.
Baka eto yung word na the friends we made along the way. Hindi ko alam.
Feeling ko ground yung first word. Pero hindi ko alam yung second word.
Crown. Any guesses? Any guesses?
Ground.
Pwedeng makahingi ng bawel.
Wait, parang alam ko.
Okay, may clue ako.
Parang alam ko.
May clue ako,
sige,
may clue ako. Yung pagkakahiwalay ng mga letters na yan, hindi yan yun ah. So, pwedeng
Okay,
yung
alam ko na.
ibang letters sa first word ay napunta sa kabila and vice versa.
Okay, alam ko na. I think
Paisip siya lalo.
Ito pala yung CFS, no?
Paano ba sumagot, guys?
Oh, sige, go. Sneak, go, Sneak.
I think it's golden round.
You are correct. So, 1 ka na. You have 1 point already. Wow. Napapakita ko kung sino ang...
Lock in.
Lock
Trying to
in.
find yung points sa
2017
rankings.
guys pala. Guys, since 2017. Kaya alam ni Sneaky Frog yan.
Grabe, yun pala.
I'm old as hell.
Let's go. Para sa ating second word, direct. Pakita mo na yan.
Bawi.
Madali
Ma'am
lang
side.
yan. Ang bilis. 1-1. There you have it. Sige, gawin natin
Tumayo ka pa.
Angas siya, guys.
Nag-emote.
Wala lang. Parang kunik-scope ko kasi yung sagot eh.
Parang naka-buzzer beater si Idol.
Wala.
Check na natin what's the next word. Sige, go.
Subbase.
1, 2-1-0. Kaya pa, Ramon?
Ano ako sa
Kaya
USB?
pa ba? Kaya
Wala, ang
makahabol,
reaction time.
guys.
Reaction time ng
Sinisetra ko lang yung mga sagot eh.
Oh, it's
Pagkalabas,
giving
bang!
setra, no? Pero sige.
Uy.
2-1-0. Score natin ngayon. Next word.
Yeah. Subbase. Ay, wala pa.
Wala pa. Okay.
Huh?
Oh, mapa.
Mapa guys, mapa.
Mapa?
Ako na nga, New Mexico.
Mali.
Saan pare? New Compa.
Tama. Sis. Parang,
tama.
Oh, tama. So, 2-2-0.
Malabas yung ano ko eh.
2-0. Gusto ko yung
Malabas
ano
yung
pa eh,
competitive.
nagbigay pa siya ng 2 segundo para mauna kayo sumagot, pero walang sumagot. Sabi niya, ako na nga. Wow,
Hindi,
napilitan
kumbaga
ko siya.
competition
diba?
lang. Competition, yan. Para ano.
Para may tension
Oo nga,
naman
oo nga.
kahit pa paano.
Competition somehow.
Kulang
sige.
ako sa kape. Yun yung sagot dito.
Ako, hindi ako
Si Peter
nagkape,
mo na Ramon yung huli.
honestly. Sige, next word natin direct. Let's go.
Comeback 7-2 half. Angkara.
Angkara.
Guys! Woo! Woo!
Angkar na.
2-0. 3-2. Ramon! Habol, Ramon!
Nauna ako ni Salvi. Ini-sure ako kung ano yung sagot eh.
Magre-reverse
Hindi
sweep daw siya
ako
pare.
sure. Sometimes you just need to say it, di ba? Sige, ayun na yan.
And ako, Ramon, di ko alam yan, promise. Di ko alam yan.
Wait. Ha?
Kaya mo yan.
Tao.
Mapa ba
Pag-isipan
to?
mo pare.
Call out? Tao? Hayop? Ano to?
Kaliwa. Palo.
Palo? Ha? Palo? Wala
Tama na
pumapasok
yung
sa
first
isip ko eh.
letter and last letter natin, by the way.
Oo, pre.
First letter, last letter.
Di yan
Pre,
crossfire
ano yung
pare.
compound?
5.
Ano yung port? Ano yung Mexico? Anong side siya? Saan pabor na side?
Ay.
One.
Global risk. Global.
Alright. Okay. Sabi pa
Sa
rin
LAL
ako
daw
na.
par.
Okay.
Ano na, habol na siya. Okay, next word, next word.
Kala ko sasabihin mo kalaban eh. Pabor sa kalaban eh. No.
Pag ako siguro yung naglalaro, pabor sa kalaban.
Yan.
Blacklist.
Pasil.
Yun, bumawi.
Yun.
Bumabawi na siya,
Yun.
chat! Sumusunod na siya! Alright, so I believe tama, no? 4-2-2. Yes, 4-2-2 na yung score natin. Sige, next word natin.
Panis.
Pabilisan lang sagot yan, guys.
Ha?
Matches.
Hindi talaga.
Hindi talaga. Sayang.
Akala ko higaan namin eh.
Mattress. Oo nga, no?
What is that?
Masters.
Yes.
Galing mo pa.
5-2-2.
Tayo ka ulit.
Tayo ulit.
Ayun.
Yun!
Yun.
Oh,
Dapat
hindi ko
kada
kita.
point may magpapaano sa inyo. May aura kayo, no? Next word
May
natin
pop-up
dito.
na.
New compound. New compound.
Kala ko, no po when
Tayo ka din naman.
Tayo ka naman.
Hindi ako
Tayo ka
sabi.
naman.
Ba't talaga?
Ay, ganun na.
Hindi ka alam yung score eh. Ano ba score natin?
Ano natin?
I have
It's
no idea
already
at this
5-2-3.
Okay.
Okay, alright.
We have last
Ano
2
question,
words.
Oh.
Last
May 2
2
words
words.
pa.
Last 2 words.
Senpai. Mali. Yan. Mali.
Sniper.
Okay,
Yun.
5-3-3. Alright, 5-3-3.
Sige, go.
Last natin.
Last
Para
na,
ano lang
last
to. Formality, kahit na si Salvi na yung panalo. Last word natin dyan direct.
Icon.
Hindi
Headshot.
siya di
Headshot yan.
Okay.
Ayun na, nireverse sweep ko na
5-4-3.
si Ramono kayo na yan.
Alright. Reverse sweep. May reverse sweep nila dito. Ayan. Alright.
Galing.
5-4-3.
Super speed lang, no? 5-4-3. Ang ating score lang natin dito sa ating mini-games para magpa-stretching ba, no? Before ng ating mismong laban. That will be super intense later on. So, bago natin i-let go itong si Sneaky Frog tsaka si Ramon, do you guys have any expectations para sa ating mga laban mamaya?
Expectation siguro. I think FERVID would definitely have a bigger fight than expected sa series nila. I think yun palang surface level take. I'll save the rest for later. Pero let's say mas may laban yung FERVID than most people do expect.
Ako naman, sisimulan ko muna by saying buti na lang di ako nag-zero kasi mapapahiya dito, no? At i-end ko na to with saying na I think there's gonna be I don't think there's gonna be too much surprises to be happening. I think with the schedule na meron tayo today, I think the teams that are expected to win will win for today. I think the closest match that we'll have is yung second matchup natin, which is going to be two teams na hindi natin masyadong nakikita on the master stage level, Alliance Gaming versus GUI Davao. So I think that one's gonna be the closest one, but the first and the third game will be won't be that much of a challenge, to say the least.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for your insights and chill na muna kayo dyan, no? As we break down din kung ano ang meron sa ating teams for our first series. Maraming salamat sa pagkipagkulitan sa amin, Sticky Frog, and as well as Ramon. Ayan, baboy! Mga ano sila, parang sobrang seryoso ng casters natin today, no, Salvatore. Ako
Kaya
lang
nga
ba?
no? Ayaw nila magpaluwag eh, no? Kasi nung sinabi mo kasi may competition, alam naman natin si Ramon tsaka si Sneaky Frog lumalabas kasi yun eh. Yung competitive side nga nila eh. To the point na namin namimigay pa si Sneaks kasi alam niya mananalo siya. Kaso, yun lang.
Yeah.
Wow! Aura, yeah.
Uy, pag ganon! Lututuwa siya sa nakakuha niya dito sa minigame natin, guys. Pero, again, first, yung laban natin dito is going to be Virtus.pro versus FERVID, and followed by Alliance Gaming versus JY Davao Esports. Uy, Davao represent! And as well as Team Stallions versus Guardas Esports, which are post representatives from Visayas. So, any thoughts here, Salvi?
Well, solid matchups, no? Parang pinapatunayan talaga ng ating first day, no? Na kung yung mga nakapasok sa spring qualifiers ay may quote-unquote bitaw laban sa ating top 2, eh, no? At binigyan din tayo ng isang matchup to canvas yung dalawang teams na hindi man lang pinagtapat ng open qualifiers phase 1 and even yung phase 2. JY pati nga Alliance Gaming will now be showcasing their 100% strength to now a wide array of audience, eh, no? Lalong-lalo na nga rin sa atin. Kasi bilang sa daliri na nakita nga natin na naglalaban ang dating Al Sovereign squad laban sa Alliance Gaming. Hindi nga sila nagtapat last year, paano pa kaya this year? And this is now the opportunity for one of them na makahanap nga ng isang panalo for them to be in the winning column. Nakaka-excite tong day 1 na to, Mochi. Siyempre, day 1 talaga dapat ang pinaka-nakaka-exciting.
Yes, of course, no? Kasi dito natin malalaman or masaset yung ating standards, especially that we have both of our biggest teams that we have here in PH so far, no? Just running it back for a little bit, especially from last year, yung ating Team Stallions talagang nagpakitang gilas sa regionals, has been able to sweep every single one with a dominant 3-0 playoff run natin dito. One of our really big mountain na ika-counter dito ng Cuerdas later on, and as well as of course na rin, no, for Virtus.pro that has been able to always be on that team of being the villains in every single lobby to be on, while proving that they will be the ones who will win. So this is gonna be really interesting for us, lalong-lalo na meron tayong revamped or I cannot say upgraded, but more like pinabagong itsura nitong FERVID esports natin as well, where we are also gonna see them na this also gonna be quite wild, to say the least.
Yeah, it's very exciting, no? Kasi looking at it, FERVID, hindi naman talaga kanais-nais yung naging regular season nga nila, no? Hindi ko na paalala kung ano yung na-score nga nila nung Master Summer. Pero FERVID right now is in win mode. Kumbaga talagang naging business yung naging off-season nga nila. And hopefully, this is the roster para talagang malaman nga natin kung anong classic obra ba yung makikita natin for FERVID. Kasi yung measuring stick ngayon, that is Virtus.pro, had an amazing run during Grand Finals at nakita nyo na nga dun sa tournament na yun kung gaano talaga lumalakas ang level ng isang team pag alam mo talagang merong nakasalalay nga doon, eh, no? And yeah, Virtus.pro really showcase na hindi lang sila basta number 2 galing sa Pilipinas. Sila din ang nirerespeto ng marami, sila din ang tinitignan, at sila din ang masasabi mong standard sa mga nakikita nating malulupit na plays sa loob ng CFS. So yeah, FERVID, proven na yung mga players. Then again, proven players. Iba kasi ang Virtus.pro, napatunayan na nilang malakas sila as a team. Yun yung pinagkaiba nila kasi, Mochi.
Yeah, that is true indeed. Kaya naman, no, ipakita na natin kung sino nga ba ang mga nandito sa ating teams. Sila pa rin ba? Sino ang mga bago? Malalaman din natin yan maya-maya. Pero let us head on to our predictions so far muna. Kasi, nagkaroon tayo ng glimpse doon sa ating predictions para meron na tayong idea kung ano nga ba yung mga pinapaboran nating mga teams here sa ating talent desk so far. At ayan na nga. For me and Salvatore and as well as Ramon, it is gonna be a 2-0, but for Sticky Frog, iba ang kanyang prediction dito. Makakaisa daw ang FERVID esports.
Well, not blaming Sneaky, no? Pero tama lang naman siguro na bigyan niya ng puntos dito ang FERVID. Siguro nakadepende na lang din talaga sa map dito, no? Pero rest assured, the macro and micro wise talagang nasa mataas na antas pa rin talaga ang Virtus.pro. Not to disregard FERVID or anything, they are a solid team. Pero the gap is absolutely seen. Gaya nga na sinabi mo kanina, Mochi, kung meron nga ba talagang gap in this matchup alone, meron nga talaga. But I do believe FERVID pwede nilang isara to ng paunti-unti, knowing na they do have the maps as the same as Virtus.pro. Pero ang pinagkaiba na nun din talaga kung paano nga nila i-execute no? So feeling ko FERVID, if they do want to tap something na meron ng Virtus.pro, it has to be individuality. Kung gusto nga nilang tapatan o sumabay talaga sa ginagawa ng Virtus.pro, FERVID has to stand out amongst themselves. Tapos siguro try to scale it a bit para mag-runs nga sila ng team play. So yeah, feeling ko tama lang naman na binigyan ni Sneaky ng puntos dito ang FERVID.
Yeah, indeed, no. It is a matter of pressing too much buttons or not, or being a bit more steel-coded in terms of defense. Yan ang makikita na natin if yun nga ba ay ipapakita dito ng FERVID. Pero nailatag na rin natin ang ating mga predictions at ngayon ay dadayo din tayo maya-maya sa ating further details dito sa ating mga players. Ito, wait lang. Ano to? We have a trivia. Ang Virtus.pro na dating kilala bilang Evos Arcilia ay naging runner-up sa CFS PH Regional Finals noong nakaraang taon. Ayan, that is true. Indeed, no?
Yan. Thank you, Kuya Kim, no? Thank you so much. Pero ito, ano ba pinakamalupit na trivia? Ayun guys, bago siya maging EBOS Arcilia or Arcilia Esports, si Cetra ay kinikilalang harang ng mga LAN games, lalong-lalo na talaga sa mga 3v3 o 5v5. To the point na para talaga na hindi siya makapaglaro sa mga LAN game, ay tinatawag siyang hacker, no? Nung pumasok siya ng Sunday Show, sa patunayan nga na malinis na nga talaga ang kanyang laruan. At ayan, nakuha niya yung promotion niya, that being EBOS Arcilia. Ayun, ang siguro madadagdag ko doon sa ating trivia of the day na bago natin nakilala si Cetra, siya ay quote-unquote nagre-shade at hacker daw. Pero in the end, nakita naman natin na
Hindi
legit
talaga.
si Mr. Christian Gonavarro. Okay naman.
Hoy, bakit ka nang-dox? Nang-dox ka sa
Alam na ng mga tao yun, Mochi. Diyos ko naman.
Kahit na. Government
Okay,
name na full.
Cetra.
Okay, Cetra. Alright.
Cetra.
So, talagang pinapakita niya lang na a bit far from normal talaga yung capacity niya into playing in that sniper role, but again, ang angas doon. And speaking of Virtus.pro, no, pakita na natin sino nga ba ang ating mga players dito, ang kanilang stats maya-maya. Pero simulan na muna natin, it's the usual favorite roster. Nagpakaunting drama pa sila nung umpisa, nakala mo may nag-away, pero wala naman talaga. Ano bang mga pautot yan, Virtus.pro? We have Cetra, Elvin, RKSA, and Yobib still.
Pero aaminin mo, Mochi, that was good PR, no? Parang
That
lahat ng
is-
tao nakatingin,
yes.
lahat ng tao nakatingin na sa Virtus.pro. No? Mga nakakalimutan na nag-runner up yung Stallions, no? Maraming sabi, lala, saan napupunta? Magbi-Vietnam na ba si Cetra tsaka si Yobib? Ayun, na 360 kayo ng buong Virtus.pro franchise, no? And that is an amazing sight to see. And oh my God, pre, na parang kailan lang natin sila uling nakita, na parang nung panahon lang, nasa Guangzhou pa sila. Pero pre, nandito na nga sila sa sarili nga nilang bootcamp, now repping the orange and white, na kung saan dati, no, naging mga tigre pa sila, pero ngayon pa yung mga oso na nga sila, but they are still as deadly as they were. At eto nga ang kanilang schedule. Syempre aabangan nyo talaga yung May 3. Bakit hindi? Ewan ko sa inyo. Pero laban ng Stallions tsaka ng Virtus.pro yan. Parang dadaan lang na Virtus.pro yung match 1, match 12. Pero nga abangan mo talaga yung pagkatapos ng 44 matches, tas bang, Stallions na kalaban nila.
Yeah, it's like every single time meron tayong mga kaunting break and also a test of, or like trials of fire para dito, no, sa veteran na galing Indonesia, as well as our match 31 and as well as match 20. So again, whoever planned the scheduling of our matches, props to you, dude. You know what you're doing. Alam mo talaga kung sino or ano yung magiging numero natin na manonood dito sa ating broadcast dahil dyan sa pinaggagawa mo, which is great for sure.
Binabati ko nga pala, no, bago tayo mag-proceed sa ating team data, no, binabati ko nga pala ang buong Big Cyber Cafe, lalo-lalo na kay Ate Sammy, no, na may utang pa akong shoutout mula sa last year ng CFS Grand Finals.
Last year
Ate
pa?
Sammy, pasensya na po. Last year pa, actually, no. Thank you, Ate Sammy, sa pagdalaw tsaka sa pagnonood ng CFS, no. Maraming salamat.
Yeah.
Pero yun, let's now head into the next business, no. At tama-tama ka doon, no, Mochi, no. Virtus.pro, despite na kung ano yung naging success nga nila during 2025, feeling ko kailangan na ulit ng trabahuin yon this 2026 to prove once and for all na solid nga talaga ang Virtus.pro sa kinalalagyan nga nila, and I'm pretty much stoked kung ano yung mga maririnig nga natin sa kanila, especially sa interview. Yan ang talagang content farming dito ngayon, no, Mochi, yung interview na yan.
Actually, really excited. Sino kaya yung i-interviewin natin dito maya-maya, no? Kasi may huhugutin
Coach?
ata tayo galing sa lobs, eh. Wala naman natin kung sino ka. Kaya, yun talaga si Coach talaga yung dini-wish mo. Ako din eh. Curious din lang eh. Sana si Coach Gary ma-interview natin. But I think may sumali na. Ay! Pwede rin to! Pwede rin to, no?
Mochi,
Wala.
alam naman natin ang move yan. O, di ba? Discord yan. Discord ni Kwan yan, di ba? Pero mali mo nga naman ang lumabas, di ba?
May mag-hi hello na iba.
Di ba? May mag-hi hello na iba.
Okay,
Mag-mic test yun mamaya. Tapos magkakaroon
Mali
tayo
mo
ng
lahat
konting
pala sila.
hints. Actually,
Diba?
pwede yun. Mas
Pwede
gusto
din.
ko yun. Mas gusto ko yun. Pero actually, eto, gusto ko to. Gusto ko ulit ko. Kung siya man, okay lang din kasi walang tapon yung mga sinasagot niya. At gusto ko talaga marinig yung unfiltered, undisputed, napakasolidong sagot na itong dalangin to. Not to mention, no, tinapos niya ang Grand Finals with one of the highest headshot per kill percentage. At tamang-tama lang naman siguro nabigyan natin siya ng plataforma para mag-yap dito, no, sa ating interview stage. Tingin mo, Mochi.
Oo, syempre, no, naaalala mo yung, sino ba kalaban nila doon? Pero 15 ata ang KD niya nun, no? I think that is the highest that we ever had so far here. And it is brought by the man himself. But again, no, extend lang natin ang bagya, no? Pinaperp lang din natin ang ating mga technicalities for them. Pero uy, may nakabulong na!
Uy.
Ready na daw ang ating interview. Kaya naman, i-welcome na natin ang nag-iisa, KSA.
Yun ang malupit na intro, no? Boss KSA? Ano ba? KSA? Wait lang, bossing. Di ka pa nakikita, bossing.
Hindi pa natin nakikita. Wait lang, take two ba tayo direct? Direct,
Inaantay pa
magte-take two ba
namin
tayo
yung
direct?
inaantay pa namin yung sticker. Pero Mochi, bigyan mo ng malupit na intro. Huwag naman yung KSA. Bigyan mo kami ng KSA. Mga ganun.
Ikaw na. Sige, ikaw mag-intro. Mas alalayo ako naman.
Ito,
Sige, go.
Mr. Headshot, ang harang ng tondo, ang pinakamalupit na player na makikita mo sa balat ng lupa ngayon, Kian Corpus Angeles, KSA.
Yeah!
Welcome to the interview stage. Grabe nga naman talaga. Walang
Mic test,
kakupas-kupas, KSA. Yan, solidong ang mic natin, bossing. Mochi, banata mo na.
May simple lang naman ang katanungan ko dito, no? Kumusta naman, KSA? Ngayon, rebranded kayo into Virtus.pro. Congratulations sa inyo, no? How are you feeling so far?
Excited naman durog.
Yeah.
Iyan yung inaabangan natin sa kanya, Salvatore. Yung mga sagot niya ganyan.
Ito Mochi, mas lalo mo aabangan to. No? Boss,
ano
kasi
yan?
kitang-kita nga naman, no, na hindi na lang to basta-basta FERVID tulad ng last year, no? Malaki yung pinagbago ng FERVID. Anong masasabi mo sa ginawa ng FERVID during the off-season, Bossy?
Naalala ko lang sa FERVID, huling laban namin sa kanila, 3-0 namin sila eh. So, parang wala pa rin nagbago sa paningin ko sa kanila. Yun pa rin.
Medyo
Kasi mo,
Pero,
abangan.
pero siguro lumakas sila kasi may kinuha silang dalawang eggs eh. Siguro, maka-type sila gano'n.
Kala, may dagdag na ba na 5 rounds daw? Sabi ni KSA.
At least di 10-0. No? Pero boss, KSA, solidong mga sagot, no? Favorite ka talaga namin kasama dito sa interview. Pero hindi na namin matatagalin yan. Feeling ko gusto mo no? Feeling ko gusto mo magpatutok o magpainit. Baka may mensahe ka dyan, pa-shoutout, o may mensahe ka sa makakalaban mo mamaya. Banit pa na.
Una-una, shoutout sa team ko, Virtus.pro, shoutout sa manager namin, Spirali, sa family ko, sa coach namin, sa teammates ko, yun. Tsaka sa, shoutout sa mga fans ng FERVID na umaasang mananalo sila. Sorry again.
Welcome daw sabi, Boss KSA. Boss KSA, maraming salamat. Thank you for your
Thank you.
interview. Good luck sa laban mo mamaya. Thank you.
Uy! Oy,
Ano sabi ko sa'yo?
pinapatahimik
Bochi,
naman
sabi ko sa'yo,
talaga.
sabi ko sa'yo, Bochi, sabi ko sa'yo, aabangan mo talaga yung interview ni KSA. Kung ano yung pananahimik na
That is true.
ginawa niya sa Gaimin Gladiators, feeling ko yun daw ang kakalabasan pagkalaban nila ang FERVID. Dahil sinima kaagad, di pa nagsisimula yung laban mo. Wala pa map dito, ang init na kaagad.
Ang init na kaagad, no? Talaga, ultimo yung mga supporters ng FERVID, dinamay niya. Ganun talaga yung ginawa dito ni KSA.
Ang ganda ng tama. Ang ganda ng tama.
Diba? Alala. Pero I am curious, no? I think napanood naman sin siguro ng ating mga players from FERVID kung ano yung mga sinabi dito ni KSA. So mamaya sa interview, tatanungin natin kung ano ang kanilang rebut doon. Pero munang ipakilala muna natin sila dito sa ating pinabagong team players because we already have Lance here na na-retain. We have DA7J, CROSSFIRE, and as well as JKIP.
Solid team no? Niretain nga lang nila dito si Lance pero yung apat na pinilit nga nila already proven players from last year. JKIM, a solid headshot machine during Sunday Shrooms. CROSSFIRE nag-stand out during his Vanguard and Team Secret days. DA7J, yung FERVID, kumakatok po kami sa puso nyo.
Hello po.
Peke po kami. Pero di ko po alam kung seryosohin nyo po yun. Pero kung seryoso po kayo, okay lang po. Pero other than that, no, FERVID, complete. Like a highly motivated team, of course. No? May bootcamp din naman. And of course, no, gusto nga nilang patunayan yung nangyari nga last year na puro sila runner-up was just something na kailangan talaga nila daanan bago talaga sila mag-champion. No? And look at their schedule. No? Virtus.pro and then followed by Alliance Gaming. Tapos hindi rin magiging madali pagkatapos nun. Ang makakalaban nga nila, ang champions ng Regionals 2025, ang Team Stallions. Nagtaka si Bossing, ba't daw siya nawala sa channel? Kasi Bossing, kung naririnig mo to ngayon, i-interviewin ka namin pero maya-maya lang, Bossing, no? Pero yun, Mochi, grabe, it is a solid team. It is a solid team nga naman talaga.
Medyo natawa ako doon kasi parang kinidnap ata si JKIM para mapunta dito sa channel natin ngayon. Surprise! Pero what I also want to point out doon sa schedule of matches nila is yung pinakahuling laban nila is against Execration. Yung dati nila team do, Salvatore. So sobrang excited din ako kung paano kaya magiging outcome natin for that one. Pero I think, no, in a bit we are also gonna see kung sino nga ba ang i-interview natin dito. Mukhang naririnig na rin natin na merong mga backup na merong mga kasama atang nangungulit na gusto nila kasama din sila sa interview natin. Baka meron din nilang masasabi na sinabi ni KSA kanina. Who knows? Pero in a bit, no, ipapakilala na natin ang ating interviewee. Ay, ito na pala!
Yan na.
Oy! Si JKIM!
Bossing! Ang ating import, no? Grabe, grabe ang nilayag ni Bossing. Wala tundo, papuntang Cebu. Boss JKIM, kamusta naman tayo dyan?
Okay lang naman po.
Okay lang. Bossing, banata mo na ng tanong. Interview na
Okay,
natin
ano?
yun si Bossing.
Syempre, the classic, no? So, bagong salta or pagka-combine kayo as a team here, anong mga preparasyon ang ginawa natin dito laban sa Virtus.pro ngayon?
Sinusunod lang namin yung mga play namin. Nagbabatak lang kami sa mga kalaban namin.
Bakit may halong tawa?
Hindi, Bochi, kasi totoo naman talaga. Grabe naman kasi yung grind nila during the off-season. Napanood nga din natin ang performance ng FERVID ng Stallions Day. Ito, Boss JKIM, malaman lamang ko lang yung transition mo, no? From Sunday Shrooms, ngayon nandito ka na sa FERVID. Malaki ba yung pinagkaiba? Tingin mo parang wala naman. Pero ang feeling mo mananalo pa rin kayo kahit, feeling mo mananalo ka pa rin kahit ganito. Anong pakiramdam natin dyan?
Malaki pinagkaiba. Tapos magaling magturo si Coach Aris. Shoutout sa'yo, Coach.
Yun.
No? Speaking of boss, yari ka kay Coach, kay Papay, no? Yari rin kay Boss Gerald. No? Pero anyways, Boss JKIM, maraming salamat sa oras po. Pero baka may gusto kang batiin dyan, shoutout o mensahe sa Virtus.pro. Initin mo,
Shoutout sa family ko, sa team ko, pati kay Coach Aris. Shoutout din sa boss namin, kay Kuya Art, pati kay Ate Sam. Pati sa jowa ko, shoutout sa'yo.
Yo.
Shoutout kay Ate Jen, no? Boss JK, maraming salamat. Good luck sa laban mo. Sana maging
Thank you po,
headshot
thank you po.
ng iyong tutok. JKIM, ating pang ilang import na ba? Pang-apat? Pang-lima?
Pang-apat na.
From from Manila to Cebu ang nilayag no? Pero sa mga susunod na araw mas makakita pa kayo ng super import nga talaga. Yun, parang nalay na natin ang foundation no, Mochi. Talagang yin and yang ang ating laban, no? May goodness, may laban sa evil no? Pero parang feeling ko ang laban na to ay magdedepend pa rin kung sino nga bang may mas angat na macro, no? Kung sino nga ba may mas malupit na off-season between Virtus.pro and FERVID. Nakaka-excite. Gusto ko na makita yung map dito na yan.
Kaya naman, no, I believe ipapakita nga ang ating map dito in a bit here. So, let us see. Ano kaya ang mga mapang ko-contest ng ating mga teams here? Ibinigay ang Eagle Eye. We have Ankara and we have Black Widow as our decider. Look at this very ballsy and brave move here from FERVID, choosing Eagle Eye as their first map.
Well, okay, FERVID. Kung meron tayong alam sa FERVID, no, they would have opted for sub-base pero binan yun. So they went for their second option. Itong malupit talaga sa Virtus.pro. Ibis na i-port kaagad nila to, pinili nila kagad ang Ankara, no? Or even Black Widow sana, yung pinaunang dangal nga nila. Pero feeling ko, dumaan na lang talaga sa point na, okay, dito naman tayo makakaranas ng onting comfort, no? So sige, piliin na natin yung Ankara. Pero tinatanggal ata ng Virtus.pro yung idea na pag may nakuha kasi ng GR, malakas kaagad sa port, At hindi ata na-way in ng Virtus.pro masyado in this familiar matchup. So, Ankara is the best pick. Alam mong walang talo sa dalawang sides. So, tamang-tama lang on the move for Virtus.pro.
Yes, indeed. So, we will see if this will be a really close series later on, no? Sometimes talagang malaki rin yung nagiging impact natin for our map dito. So, when it comes to our predictions as well. So, tingnan natin, no? I believe nag-iinit na rin yung comment section natin ngayon. Hindi ko lang pa nakikita, but I am pretty sure everyone's already excited dahil ito nga yung morka ng pinakaunang araw natin dito sa ating week 1. And I am pretty sure na lalong mag-iinit lang ito as time goes by. And dude, I can't wait kung ano ang mga offer dito ng FERVID. Kaya wag na natin patagaling pa. I-welcome na natin mga casters na magpapainit maghati na aksyon para sa inyo. Sneaky Frog and Ramon, kunin nyo na to.
Salamat Mochi and Salvatore sa napagandang panimula para sa pinakamalaking SCA Crossfire Tournament sa taong 2026. Ramon and Sneaky Frog na pala, at sa pinakaunang araw, homecoming na ng dalawang representative natin noong CFS Grand Finals last year, at isa sa kanila ang maglalaro ngayon, ang Virtus.pro, na makikipagtagisan lamang sa isang FERVID na may bagong roster. Feeling ko naman may lalapag pa rin sila dito sa matchup natin, at mas lalo na sa buong SCA Masters. Ikaw ba, Sneaky Frog, ano yung gusto mo sabihin about this matchup?
Honestly enough, pare, feeling ko it's a lot to prove para dito sa Virtus.pro kung kaya ba nila i-keep yung kanilang level na nakita nga natin nung Grand Finals ng 2025, no? Reminder lang para sa lahat ng mga tao na nanonood ngayon, Virtus.pro, itong iteration ng Virtus.pro roster natin, this was the closest team to beating AG. Doon sa 2025, pare, they took him to 5 maps. Granted, no, map 5 was somewhat of a disaster by the tail end, pare. Pero still, taking the current champs to 5 maps is still a big achievement, pare, especially knowing yung lugar ng kanilang spot. And everyone kind of forgot about it, no, kasi yun nga, Stallions went on that very nuts run, pare. But at the same time, that doesn't really take away at the strength dito ng Virtus.pro, no? They're still realistically, the best team dito sa Masters, considering yung kanilang win rate on every single Masters na na-enter nga nila ever since they were SGJ. I think if I can remember, they did win multiple times dito sa tournament na to, so I expect them to play at the highest level. Para naman sa FERVID, no? This is gonna be a very interesting experiment, pwede nga natin sabihin, considering na ang daming former members galing dito sa XS, some members from Team Secret as well. And naging interesting sa akin yung Eagle Eye pick, no? Kasi ina-expect ko dito na mag-counter pick sila ng new compound, considering na kung maaalala natin, that's actually one of the better maps dito ng Team Secret or Execration even back in the day, no? I think yung mapo-point out natin na counterplay na ginagawa nga dito ng Team Secret or Exe back in the day, yun sana yung main point na kanilang offense, no? But I think with the changes ngayon ng Compound 2, with the new server room, meron na nga tayong server room sa back as well. So, maybe they want to go in a different direction. And I feel like Eagle Eye is definitely the right direction. Kasi yun nga, it is one of the stronger maps ng Virtus.pro, pero may tendency din sila mag-crumble pag sobrang lakas yung matchup. And ayun nga, that is really up to 0-2 to pick up the stack if ever nga madudulas nga dito yung Virtus.pro, pare.
Tama. And just to double up dun sa naging point po about Eagle Eye being the strongest point or at least one of the, to be honest, para dito sa Virtus.pro, bahay din kasi yan ni Yobib as well as for Elvin as well. Kasi sa mga times na talagang gusto nila labanan, whether it's gonna be papunta doon sa may LB or as well as doon sa paglaban nila on LA, usually Yobib maggagawa siya ng kahit anong kabaliwan para hindi sila makapasok either on hotel as well as doon sa LB position. Makaka-expect ka ng isang magandang sniper peek galing dito kay Cetra doon sa may LB natin or doon sa may akyatan, di ba? Sometimes the Virtus.pro formula just goes any other way talaga no, kasi they have the tendency to pop off at any given moment, and that's all thanks to the leadership nga naman ng isang KLR na talagang from last year, hindi lang leadership skills na nakita natin sa kanya, talagang kaya niya makipagsabayan when it comes to the fragging output sa isang IGL na yan no? So it's a big challenge para sa FERVID na i-keep up na lang yung magiging chaos na pwedeng ilapag dito ng Virtus.pro talaga no? And I think with the point that you mentioned dito sa map veto natin, Eagle Eye, while internationally it hasn't been like the best thing para sa Virtus.pro, dito sa Pilipinas they have put up a really strong performance laban sa kahit sinong team na ilalapag ba dito no? So this PH Masters team, if they are gonna be contested in a map like this where it's gonna be FERVID's map pick, I think it's a good way to kind of cap things off on a viewer's perspective no? Pero on a FERVID's perspective, I think there's gonna be more than just good communication na kailangan dapat tumatama din yung mga shots nila. FERVID as we're heading on into yung pinakaunang set natin sa SCA Masters 2026. Balik sa lagim na agad ng pareho nating teams as Virtus.pro will start on BL at nakuha pa nga ng isa si KSA dito papunta kay Dracifer.
Yun nga, nauluhan pa nga si Dre dito sa ating hotel position, and that's not gonna be good para sa kanilang mid-defense. So, kitang-kita mo naman wide open ang depensa galing dito sa mid-side, and I feel like Virtus.pro, no, there's now starting to slowly look upon this position and possibly see it as an entrance papasok ng A and or yung B side nga natin dito. Pero FERVID, I think they're gonna be the ones looking for a pick-off dito pare, pero feeling ko aware din sila na Virtus.pro is also kind of holding back, and you really don't want to cross into the crosshairs nga dito ni Cetra because that's a hit every single time. And speaking of FERVID, no pare, I mean, pressure has been shifted. Nawala na kay D yung pressure, no? That was the pressure on him dun sa exit to perform, no? He was the big unknown, pero ngayon, it's actually itong si Lance. It's a big question mark, though. Granted, he has had a year dito sa Masters, and he has had, a win dito sa ating last season na Impact pare. It's still a big mystery how he's gonna perform, pero si D, walang question, makaka-one tap dito sa mid kay Cetra. That's a huge pick-off, pare.
Yeah, and a patient play at him for him as well, no? As he overpick, he just waited for them to actually strike on him at talagang maayos yung naging sukat ni D dito, no? And gusto ko nga yung naging discussion mo about kung saan ng pressure dito kasi si Lance yung huling-huli ang player from the FERVID roster last year na nandito pa rin. At mga bago mga roster yung kasama niya dito, no? So, the question mark on how that synergy is gonna work out. As that synergy, it's not even needed. D with a second then, laban kay Elvin, nakasama lang ni KSA. Nabilisan lang yung naging trade sa kanya. 3v3, 30 seconds. At yung question, saan papasok yung bomba? Baka papasok dun sa may midside.
Yun nga. Na-expect yata ng Virtus.pro na isa lang magko-commit dito sa mid, or at least it will be a bit more of a overcommittal, no? Na kaya nilang labanan with only the trade frags. Pero KSA gusto na pumasok dito sa high mid, pero mawawalan siya ng ulo. Salamat sa USP ni A7J. KSA will get lunch in return, 2 versus 2. Pero 9 seconds na lang natitira dito. Kailangan na ibaba yung C4 sa cable car. Yobib spotted sa loob pero hindi siya pwede barilin. Mayroon pong bulletproof glass sa kanan ng ating cable car. So it will be a bit difficult sa lahat ng information na nakuha ni Yobib dito. Pero pinupush na nga siya sa site. Kellar, good swing. A7J spotted, nire-reload ang USP, the best weapon in the game, in the right hands. And yun na nga sinasabi ko, the USP doing a bit too much damage. And the defuse comes in para sa FERVID. Round number 1 goes their way after, a failed trade game dito sa mid para sa VP pare.
Absolutely. And what came about was a performance for two teams na talagang right call na makapag-rotate yung VP sa open B bomb site. Pero yung naging response ng FERVID is to rotate all the way back on that high mid position, keep A7J in the position to actually clutch it up in the end. 2 kills para sa kanya. Still holding down that arctic as well, no? So, yung pasok na ulit si KLR through the smoke, kills up J-Kim. That is newcomer from FERVID. And the new import as well for the team, no, na capping a bit more of that struggle kasi sa gantong laruan ng Virtus.pro, talagang gusto nila kumuha ng mga early fights na dito. Kaya napapunish yung FERVID sa mga 4 angles na set up na sa kanila.
Wow.
Another for KSA as well. So that's 2 kills. Make it 3 for Yobib as well. At so magpasok na dun sa B. May mga onti lang mga pwedeng mag-challenge sa kanila as duguan ang dalawang players nila on VP, pero it's still a numbers advantage.
Yeah, good recognition on yung side ng VP, no? They're actually tracking yung names dito ng FERVID, and as soon as they recognize na meron naka-overtake dito sa long, it was immediately going in towards LB, pero sasagot si Dean na naman ng dalawa. Tignan mo naman kung gaano ka-low ang last 2 players ng VP. Di mapapatingin ba sa taas? Hindi! 7 HP kay Kellar, and he will get that. However, yung USP ni A7J ay napakadelikado considering yung HP bars ng last 2 players natin at pupulot pa nga siya ng HK417, and you know that thing can be a laser in the right hands, pare. So titignan natin if he can pull it off once again.
Yeah. Good on D para makuha niya yung dalawa na full HP pa nga, so medyo from impossible naging posible pa nga para kay A7J, no? And it just makes it even more easy para makapag-respond. Ang kanihintay na lang na is kung saan makapag-plant ng C4 ang mga players ng Virtus.pro. Once he knows that info, tamang rotate na lang siya all the way back into that A site. Planted on down, and now KLR and the Yobib will have to play into the 2 versus 1.
Oh, pero A7J spotted na nga dito. Pareho na silang low HP. USP option as well para dito kay Yobib. But the rifle will be used. A7J wary as well na merong baka may manggaling sa kanyang likod, pero si Yobib naka-steady lang dito sa may hagdan papuntang kanan ng site. Pero nakapasok na. A7J spotted, and Yobib with a 7 HP seal dito sa ating round number 2, and VP, they get the round back. However, medyo delikado yun, pare. Pero yung start ng round, napakaganda ng macro din dahil sa VP. They recognize na mayroong long push dito sa A, and they just walked up dito sa B, fully knowing na alone si Lance, pare.
Yeah, they didn't even try to get any sort of mid peaks as well. So getting back on that confident push na parang dire-diretso na lang yung mga players dito on FERVID. Big surprise na lang yung making right place, right time itong si D when he was rotating back in towards that B site. Nakahabol pa siya dun sa dalawa na kumukuha pa nga sana ata ng RS push. At hindi pa nga sila nakasimula nun. Setting up a potential clutch para kay A7J. Pero Yobib, no hesitation, gets the kill kay Dracifer. So Hotel is open para sa kanila. Opens a lot of options din para sa team ng FERVID. Actually, for Virtus.pro, excuse me. If they have Hotel, pwede na labanan pa rin yung bridge position na yan. Leave one player all the way back in there. Possibly open the option din para i-push up yung mid na kanina pa nga nalang tinatrabaho dito. No? So, numbers down. FERVID gonna have to play passive now. Lance is just holding down that smoke. Baka pag may lumabas dito kahit sino, either Yobib or KSA, it's gonna be a big surprise para sa kanila. But instead, they're just gonna play for the reset.
Nag-aantay sila dito sa inip ng FERVID, but I don't think it is gonna come anytime soon. Fully knowing na ang ganda ng angle dito ni Dia. If he can actually flick on back in towards yung mid side, baka matulungan niya nga dito sa A7J, but I don't think he needs any help anytime soon. B site, fake gonna be there. Lance will get KSA, hindi na naman makakahanap ng dalawa. He keeps finding 2 for some reason, pare. Elvin finally finding a trade on the sniper ng FERVID, pero 3 versus 2. RS na si Elvin, napakalayo pa ni Yobib all the way in LB, and the C4 is where it's all the way in A long, pare. Nako po, there's already sniper sightlines dun sa C4, pare.
If only they have some time to punish na sila kaagad-agad.
Yeah, realistically, si Jacob na gumagawa ng presence or si Dracifer actually. Teka lang, Lance, di napansin. Si Elvin nakalagpas na nga dito sa mid-smoke pero di makahanap kaya ng isa dito. Flick to the right on Keller. What a shot, Dracifer! What a find dito kay KSA as well. Baliktad na yung mapa natin, pare. Zetra will miss the shot on Dracifer. Teka lang. 2 versus 3. Elvin spotted sa cross. Headshot for Jakim. Yobib na lang natitira with an M4 in his hands. And Yobib, naku po, ano magagawa mo dito, pare? Tatlo na yung nasa harap mo unless it's a full spray down on all three. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. Fervid, another point on the board para sa kanila dito. That's a 2-point lead para sa kanilang GR side.
Pre, sino ba talaga yung nagbi-BL dito? Sa dinarami-raming players ng FERVID nagpo-push on all sides, diba? Dracifer on LB as well as a very quick peek on that door mid position na na-clear pa nga yung sa mga lurkers dito on the side of Virtus.pro. And then no answer whatsoever, pare. Ang grabe naman yung naging performance for FERVID. Nung tinatry na lang i-push yung mga extremities natin as they're gonna have to rely on the first picks yet again. Cetra hitting that first shot. Finally, his first kill on the board. Tells you the situation. FERVID are coming into this with a different roster and a different set of confidence. Early first blood para sa kanila. And with Lance down, no, parang a quiet game for him, but it's actually been A7J as well as Dihu have been firing on the sidelines, demanding VP of their attention ngayon.
Hindi si KSA, ah. So, may onting information si D kung nasaan ang isang player. Possibly two, actually. But he's already on the nearby para KSA. Tatalikod ka ba? Jakim binabaril na. Pero si D gets one. KSA doesn't even get KSA. Naku po, naka-bonus pa siya ng isa. By one, take two para dito kay D. And that counts to 3 pare. Elvin, the last one left alive. Nasa loob ng smoke. Naka-headshot kay Dracifer. Pero A7J looking for his fellow Cebuano dito sa top 8 natin. Pero nandito na nga siya sa baba sa hagdan. And the wallbang from the USP despite the EBR na nasa kamay ni Elvin. 4-1 for FERVID and it seems like King pare.
FERVID is cooking, men. Yung mga setups na meron sila on the way on LA where the push from KSA was a bait that they were looking for. Or FERVID were looking for, excuse me. Nahanap ni D yung napakagandang trigger discipline. At dahil doon, na-setapan na ulit itong si A7J, the brothers. Being the firepower duo na hinahanap-hanap ng FERVID. Striking it against a Virtus.pro na lagi nating sinasabi, no? If not top 1, no, always top 2. Sa PH, either on Masters or Regional Finals. And this is one of the few times na nakikita natin silang shaken, struggling. Nagugulat kasi narotate na agad sila ni D. Napapatay sila ni A7J. And this is like a kind of flavor from FERVID na medyo hinahanap natin from then. Probably that impact run they had last year, no? Parang kakaiba, no?
Interesting actually yung counterplay na nakikita natin ngayon. No? I feel like alam ng FERVID na yung malaking focus talaga ng Virtus.pro, especially pagdating sa mapa ng Eagle Eye, which is that mid-control. I think at most, maybe may magcha-challenge dito sa Bino. If merong push dito sa long, they will react to it with an LP push. But, ayun nga, no, if they cannot take out itong mid-defense talaga, and that will be a very, very tough time trying to get into the sites, fully knowing na, you know, Lance is hitting his shots, and the other players are hitting theirs as well. Pero, man, the absolute impact galing kay T, pare. Ilan ba yun? That was like 3 double kills in a row. Even on the losing round, pare, you can feel the impact from this kid.
This is medyo unprecedented eh, no? Or kumbaga parang out of our expectations, kumbaga, ano, kasi medyo natandaan ko kasi yung nag-flashback sa akin yung nangyari last year nung PH Masters, the last time na naglaro ang mismong FERVID as an organization, not the team, excuse me, pero yung FERVID as an organization, nung kanilaban nila yung EVOS Arc last year, no? I go back to that new compound game where KSA literally dominated yung mismong FERVID eh, no? But again, back to what I've been saying, no, a different FERVID, so they didn't have like that same experience na nangyari dong new compound game na yon where KSA picked up 15 KD laban sa kanila, 15 kills without having to die at all, diba?
Yeah, and it was an interesting rise para kay KSA in 2025 kasi for the longest time we've known VP to be, you know, Yobib's team, pare. It's not that, you know, it's like it's Yobib and friends. Pero ngayon, Virtus.pro, different kind of flavor this time. Going into the year of 2026, no? New and improved. Di na pwede, parang na-recognize na nila na maaga na, we can't just rely upon one star player, pare. And they made the most simplest solution. Let's just make two superstars, pare. And I feel like that's enough for both sides of the map. And with the pickup on Cetra as well, pare. I mean, firepower's off the charts para dito sa VP. Problema ka lang. That's what I was talking about dito sa FERVID earlier. The counterplay, always looking for the upper hand dito sa mga round. Walang definite na defense sa matatawag natin na it's called the default para sa kanila, men.
Yeah. It's not really the type of play na nakita natin from the past couple where they were just expecting that FERVID we're gonna go ham. Or kumbaga parang ina-expect na lang yung FERVID na mismo yung mga lalaban sa mga extremities natin, maybe on LB, but now it's a FERVID that's very patient. Lance very close on the angle. He does have that Arctic, but he also has support galing dito kay Drecifer. Nakahawak lamang sa kung may mag-push nga on that high mid or as well as yung pag-push na from that exit position. 1 minute on the clock. VP have the setup, have the time para makapasok sila sa B. And with the full brunt of people from FERVID on that A site, this is almost looking like it's on Lance to try to hold down the line.
Ooh, yun na nga. Lance, the shotgun sniper, hitting para sa kanya, pare. Pero Kellar having a fully fledged rifle in his hands. The EBR absolutely shredding 2 players para dito sa FERVID. Pero gusto nila pumasok ng side. J-Kim, di matatamaan. Instead, it's actually D, and Kellar gets taken down. Good HE galing kay J-Kim, pero kailangan i-clear yung backside. Pero iniintay ng VP yung late push ni Elvin sa mid at nag-a-action na naman ng lurk. Nagpapa-confuse para sa depensa. Pero FERVID dumalaban pa rin. J-Kim with the check. Zetra tagged, confirming na matatapos ito sa B-site. The plant finally starts. J-Kim rounding the corner. Spotted si Yobib sa cable car, pero matatabaan na rin eventually. Bit of work. A7J down as well. 30 seconds. J-Kim, 2 one-taps needed galing sa kanya, pero naka-Colt at USP na kanya mga kalaban dito. And I think they're fully well aware of the status of the HP dito ni J-Kim, pare.
Yeah, it's just one pistol para kay Cetra na yun. No? So, while it was a good attempt para kay Lance and a good start para sa kanya, the full execute just really was the brunt of this full push for Virtus.pro. That worked out even though the spam was there para sa kanila. But in the end, they were able to make it work. Also, coupled up with yung lurk na ginawa kanina ni Elvin, yung late push all the way from mid, opened up the possibility as well as had a little bit more confusion no, sa isang FERVID na hanap ng re-clear this time around. Drecifer on the hotel, spots the kill dito kay KSA. So, not gonna be that entry anymore na hinahanap natin para sa kanya. He just keeps going! He wants to get sprayed down! A double para kay Drecifer. A setup just like this, Yobib and Lance all trying to get themselves the picks this time around as A7J also follows sa isa pa. And FERVID, man, this is what I'm talking about. The different setups that they have in every single round is confusing VP and able to get the 5th round para sa kanila.
Mahihirapan talaga maghanap ng counterplay, no? If you don't know what the play is in the first place. Pero Cetra, who needs counterplay, pare? But you can just crouch peek yung nasa LB. Lance taken down immediately. Pero hindi pa tapos yung labanan dito, pare. Kailangan pa mag-react dito ng VP. FERVID now attacking. Galing dito sa long A side. Ginagamit ang kanilang smoke. Bilang one-way A7J. Maghahanap galing sa hotel. I don't like this. Galing sa FERVID. It's a bit too aggressive sa B-side ng mapa considering lahat ng pinakita nyo dito sa A. Pero mapapabalik to si D at si Drecifer, Elvin with the late push sa mid. Pero FERVID, medyo natatakot na sila kay Elvin, pare.
I mean, Elvin could be anywhere. At sa punishment na laging dinidil ni Elvin kapag nakapag-sound off ka ng at least sound cue sa kung saan ka man mag-rotate or at least if magpupush ka. Elvin is usually the guy who's patiently waiting. And nakita mo yun from the past couple of rounds where he's always been yung nasa mid-door, laging nasa kung saan mo hindi mo i-expect talaga. So that's gotta be on the minds of FERVID ngayon no? Kung nahanap nga man sila ni Elvin on one of the couple of rounds and they're gonna have to expect him everywhere at this point. VP numbers advantage. FERVID holding down that mid side. He's been doing pretty well before and he's gonna do it yet again. Good find kay KSA. Baka makadalawa pa nga. Sige, D, keep going. Double para sa kanya. Etc. Gonna try to balance things out para sa VP as Elvin gets the spray down. Si D na lang natitira. 1 minute on the clock.
He's at help. He has 1 bullet and a dream, pare. It does get a reload going. Zetra nasa metal. Elvin spotted sa kahoy. Wall bangable yan. 100% Zetra. Bottom side now. Pero meron din siyang HK dito. The tag, the dead sa top A. Nice try galing sa FERVID, no? Kaso nakulangan yata sila ng numbers dito sa A side. At the same time, bit of overfighting galing sa mga present A players natin. I think Dracifer maybe a bit too deep dito sa may mid-doors area natin. But I don't think it was the expectation na magpupush pa tong VP sa A side considering ang tagal nila nag-anay, pare.
Very well put talaga. Virtus.pro to 5 now. And this time it's not really about trying to expect where FV is going to be coming from now. I think the game plan now is to try to punish them at very early peaks this time. Grabe yun, Cetra.
Yeah,
What you've expected from
Yeah.
one of the good pickups para dito sa Virtus.pro when they were back in EVOS. This guy was a question mark nung pinasok siya last year. Ngayon, medyo proven na, no, from the performance he had from CFS Grand Finals. I think this guy already... I think everybody knows this guy's name now.
For sure. Yun nga, no, there's still that heated debate, pare, about who is the top sniper dito sa Pilipinas. Pero I think Zetra is definitely making his case, pare. He's just gotten another one off screen. Lance na naman ang biktima dito. Pero si KSA mawawalan din ng buhay. So, sniper for attacker, no? It's actually pretty bad galing dito sa FERVID. Pero considering, one sniper's down, we got 2 more.
Three stacked up on towards that B main position. Tapos may nag-iisa lang na parang tina-challenge lang yung nasa LA ngayon. Since napatay nga nila si KSA, FERVID don't really have the hands to try to get anywhere ng masyadong agresibo. Maybe just leave hotel dito kay Dracifer and just have the rotate in. Pero yo, Biv, now with the kill on Dracifer, that's an open hotel. That's a B site in their minds na ngayon. 35 seconds, VP. Tamang picks lang agad and Jacob down sa early peak na ginawa niya dito kay Cetra. So now FERVID losing numbers and have to get the kills going as ngayon na nagpapanas sa LA. They're gonna have to be prepared because Yobeb and Kel are here and killed Duff D as well. A7J na lang natitira. Sabato ng paa at patay pa siya agad ni LR. So that's a 4-5 for VP. Not too shabby of a first half for FERVID. But with Virtus.pro having this last laugh I feel as though this could get even closer this time around, Sneaky.
Yun nga, I feel like yung round na yun, pare, is really a perfect display of yung old bad habits dito ng FERVID, no? Obviously, naging 4v4 na yung situation, but at the same time, nagkakaroon kasi sila ng internal timer na masyado na nagmamadali dito para maghanap ng pick sa mapa, which is also a problem, no? Dito sa mga prior teams natin with TS and with the other teams as well from back in the day in X, yung mga players natin, they do tend to kind of overplay their hand and when the spotlight's on you, pare, syempre you do want to make a play happen. Kaya there is that tendency, para sa mga ibang FERVID players natin to kind of overplay their hands, especially pagdating sa mga 3v4 situations at wala ka mahanap talaga sa mapa. Ayun talaga, that's where Virtus.pro wants you to be in. Yun yung posisyon na gusto ng Virtus.pro dito sa mapa na kayo yung naghahanap, kayo yung nagsascramble, kayo yung nagpapanik dito at kayo yung naghahanap ng solusyon. Meanwhile, VP is already having a solid game plan papasok na ka ng site. So, yun na yung kailangan isipin dito ng FERVID, no? Realistically, they still have a 1-point lead papasok ng second half natin and a really good BL side would definitely solve yung kanilang, not so decent finish dito sa first half natin. Pero, titignan pa natin, man, in BL is a bit difficult pag kalaban mo dito yung Virtus.pro.
Yeah, definitely. A Virtus.pro team that really has, when it comes to defensive setups, parang kumpara mo sa isang Team Stallions, yin and yang sila, where if you have an aggressive Team Stallions, you have a very patient Virtus.pro nga naman, no? So if napapansin mo, napaka-patient na nga nila dito sa BL, what more pa kaya pag sila naman on the GR side, no? Kung besides a couple of early peaks from their sniper or possibly Yobib who medyo makaka-expect ka na mag-agresibo siya somewhere else or maybe be that hotel player, they're not really the type na sila yung parang magpo-force ng fights early on. They know their timings, they know when to take those aggressive spaces ka naman. Yung FERVID yung on the other hand naman yung dapat talagang kumuha ng mga forward spaces na yun dito this time around. So that's a big question mark kung gaano nga ba sila magiging agresibo pagdating dito sa BL side or if mag-hold up pa ba yung duo firepower na meron dito na si A7J at saka si D. Okay na ba yun laban sa isang Virtus.pro na talagang solved na when it comes to protocols, di ba?
Medyo worried lang ako pagdating sa A-take ng FERVID, no? Kasi alam mo naman, nakikita naman natin galing pa lang sa first half, Zetra's already having the hot hand dito sa sniper, and the fact na we do call itong si Zetra, no, kind of a microwave because it doesn't really take much for the kid to heat up, no, dito sa laruan natin. It does take, 1 or 2 kills and he's suddenly back in the game, pare, like it's nothing. Like he wasn't like 4-11 prior, no, pare. So, it seems like top A will definitely be a problem na kailangan itackle dito ng FERVID eventually, no? Pero mukhang B-side ng mapa yung unang aatakihin nila dito.
Yeah. Right, for now, so sides for both teams now. FERVID gonna start on that BL. KSA, siya naman yung agresibo no? Gets the one spray and D is low on HP. Sagot agad, patay si Elvin. So gonna be that 1-for-1 setup. D low on HP, a good nade for him. At baka mapapatay pa ata si KSA, no? But still gonna keep going. He's stuck on that double box.
Uy. Nice shot galing kay Dre. KSA finally down. That's one way to do it. Para dito sa B clear natin. I think VP possibly using this as a tester round para kung nasan yung default, quote-unquote, ng FERVID dito. Pero advantage at the hands dito ng FERVID, pare. They've successfully pushed lahat ng mga VP members papasok na baka sites, pero medyo kumukulit si Zetra dito sa hotel. Pag na-realize ng maaga ng VP na wala palang tao dito sa B-site, man, this might be trouble in paradise sa A-site, pare.
Yeah. 1 minute for them to try to make the decision now. The kills on Elvin and KSA, parang lalaki-lala yung problema, no? As FERVID, they're happy to take those picks and just play VP at their own game kanina. Kung kanina sila yung passive at mag-play around the problems with FERVID. And si FERVID naman yung mag-force the mistakes na yun. You know? I like the display for VP. If they're gonna bundle up dun sa A side at sa mid, at least may info sila at magkakasama sila kung sa A sila mag-push. But instead, with an open B plant, FERVID would have a lot of time to actually control yung rotation sila.
A7J, already on low HP. Most likely sila yung naka-entry duty dito, pare. A7J likely will not actually give away his life for mid information instead. Mapakapan na lang yung player na nasa loob ng hotel. And I think this is the smarter play just so you can force worse fights galing sa VP. And that's not forcing anything, Mr. D. Unfortunately, that is only a crouched up Zetra dito sa may spawn natin with the easiest shot of his life towards the spawn player. 3 versus 3. At merong nang nakayoko dito sa may hotel. Dracifer, good spot. KLR spotted as well. Meron na nag-iingay na nga dito. Yo, Bib. Is he gonna go for the full peak? A17, nagkamali ng labas dito. Pero Dracifer, good trade, Lance. Good shot as well. KLR na lang natitiran. What can the IGL do para sa VP? And well played, man. Grabe. They just closed the curtain dito sa VP, pare. Wala silang binigay na impormasyon as soon as that first fight was done.
Yeah, that's the thing about having the game plan set kapag ka-open yung beat talagang you have all the time in the world to make a game plan for yourself on the post plant. Yung isang push na napatay nga agad tong si D, but when you add another more layers dun sa double hotel hold na meron dito where they first spots tapos yung possible na magiging kill si A7J where na-clear siya pero the info gathered just gives FERVID a lot of confidence para makapag-push siya, nagro-rotate sa RS as well as knowing where the last two people are coming from as well. So, good game plan para sa FERVID. Nets them that 6-4. Virtus.pro under GR is getting a little bit exposed. Nalalaman na may double flank, nalalaman na may naka-long angle setup. Yo, Bib now knows that the push might be coming in from long A. Triple stack coming in. FERVID gonna have to play with their lives.
Oh, wait lang. D is gonna find Yo, Bib. Pero JK, maganda kanyang entry. Keller mahuhulog. Zetra founded ang kanyang mga paa dito sa RS. Pero hindi siya mapapatay dito kay SA. Magagaling sa likod. Good tag on towards Lons. Pre-fire crouch peek. Not gonna work for the sniper. Instead, mag-iingi na lang siya nakasama dito kay SA with a find on Dracifer and a shot miss para kay Lons. A7J down. Pero meron pang dalawa na natitira dito sa A-site natin. Top A, Hagdan, J-Kim, D. Both players have been shooting very well sa mapa natin, but with 15 seconds left on the shot clock, D, bawas na ka dito sa may Hagdan natin, and 10 seconds left, Elvin will get the kill on Jake. I mean, he had to. He had to get that kill, pare. If hindi, that would have been the round sana para sa FERVID, pare.
Absolutely, pre. All in the horizon. That would have been an easy spray down para sa nag-iisa na sa FERVID. Pero in the end, the retake protocol para sa Virtus.pro works out in the end. Let again with KSA leading the charge. Sa quick spray down na naungkit niya sa dalawang players na nagro-rotate pa lang on FERVID side. 5-6 Virtus.pro. Back on getting their control sa pagkuha dito on Hotel. It's FERVID now. See if they can get any sort of answer dun sa may mid-side presence. But D shouldering up that Hotel spot. KSA with a spray down. At D finally answers with the kill. Virtus.pro, they're relying on Elvin to either commit towards Hotel or babalik na lang para mag-play with a double setup. KelR is here to respond.
Importante din dito sa FERVID men na hindi sila basta-basta magbibigay ng libre dito. Always got to be good for these trades and never really want to give anything for free dito sa VP, no? May enable lang silang gumawa ng mas ma-aggressive na plays or they get further map control potentially with just sheer numbers. Pero Virtus.pro now starting to investigate itong LB side ng mapa natin, and with KelR actually not spotting anyone, mapapabalik siya all the way dito sa may mid-side kung saan nakaupo dito si A7J. So the early info is actually coming in clutch para sa VP.
Very much so, no? LB talagang sangkatutak ng FERVID players. And only one man to stop them, Elvin. Either he focuses on the LB position or yung Hotel. He has to commit to one. At saan siya magsisimula, no? Spotted yung LB, balik na agad sa site. And that's good patience coming through from Elvin. But everybody else from VP, they have the time para mag-rotate. Alam nila na dito manggagaling ang FERVID. So this fight has to be prepared for this.
Ganda na spot dito ni Elvin. Tanong lang, nakatama ba siya dito kay D? Smoke gonna be helping with the push dito ng FERVID. Elvin not spotting any names and will be shot right through it. Bulag na bulag dito si Elvin sa bahagdan natin. Pero di, kailangan na mag-scale ng malala dito. Hindi pwede na naandito lang siya sa site. He needs to take RS immediately or they need to take Hotel's place. And yan ang gagawin dito ni Tracifer. Second mid, dadaan na yung mga players dito ng VP, but a good angle from D can cancel this entire game plan. 25 seconds. Time is ticking. KelR nakapasok na ng RS. Tracifer spotted si Yobib. Hotel push there. Tracifer missing the spray instead. 2 versus 3. May pressure na nanggagaling sa RS at sa rampa. KelR kailangan na mag-peak. Pero A7J spotted. Spammed right through the pillar at aabot ng defuse right on the money, pare. And these last second defuses are getting FERVID, man. The pressure is too unreal on all sides, pare.
Absolutely, pre. The big unsung hero here was Yobib. Also able to clear itong si Tracifer na medyo naging agresibo na nga sa pag-peak sa kanya. Could have played for time and could have actually bought a lot more time para sa FERVID. Na-wrap around pa nga ng VP on all sides. And it could have actually been so close if ever nga na makapag-burn pa nga sila sana. It would have been a FERVID round right then and there, pero nakabawi pa sila. 6-6, tablado na ang both FERVID as well as VP. Good start for FERVID kanina, but VP very much the experience. Napapansin mo that it's still a very big factor pagdating dito, no? Plus the protocols for them when it comes to the retake has been very well handled.
So interestingly enough, no? I think VP just gonna run their usual pare and 2-1-2 and placing itong si Zetra at the extremity ng ating spawn stairs, no? Which actually puts him in a very safe spot. This actually looks like yung let's say yung lumang style ng VP where they're really trying to preserve Zetra sa mga late rounds natin, and for good reason. He's a pretty good clutch player, pare, pero Elvin mahuhulog na agad dito sa B-site natin, but that's only one piece of the puzzle. Kailangan mo pa hanapin yung isa pang player na naandito sa second mid, pero VP uma-action na agad. They are not waiting anymore to make a play happen. Pero si Lance dropping the TRG at the wrongest time at mamamatay pa rin si Yobib. Nako po! How did he not get that kill? A7J, nakita na kasi KSA, nagkagulatan na yung dalawang teams natin. But at the worst moment para sa VP, Lance spotting KelR sa mid, HK sa kanyang kamay. KelR good for the spray, pero saan na lang natitira? Nahulog na si Zetra. KelR, headshot is there. Pero nalilikuran nga siya dito ni Tracy for fast tap off from the behind. 7-6. FERVID finally an answer after an onslaught on the defense para sa VP.
Jeez, grabe nung naging... Ang taas ata ng luck skill nitong si Lance, no? Kasi by the exact same timing na kung kailan niya isa-swap sana yung TRG into towards that M14. Perfect timing sana para sa LA player na nag-push sa kanya, but instead it was still going to be Lance at the end of the day. And into the rotate on that B site, they already had like a pretty bad start to the round where they gave up 2 kills in fact. Kaya napadali yung pagpasok ng FERVID. They can't always count on Cetra to clutch. This time around, it's not gonna work that para sa kanila, no? FERVID just holding down spawn. Possibly preparing for something this time around laban sa VP na again playing on that passive positions, pare.
Looking like the average game of 8v8 min. Ako po, these are ito yung palagi nakikita mong 4 na natitira na last left alive. Always having snipers sa likod ng angkara or nasa spawn. Tamang abang lang sa arco and then you die to like the 8th person pushing dito sa long. Pero valid naman ginagawa ng FERVID, no? I feel like gagawin nila galing sa base. They're gonna triple clear everything. And feeling ko gusto nilang gulatin kung sino man yung naka-forward dito sa VP. They want to hear a flash or a nade bago sila lumabas dito sa base. Pero natatagalan na yata sila dito, man. VP also willing to play the waiting game dito sa A site natin.
Yeah, for sure, pre. Not the most amount of time that they're looking for as well.
Sa ballsy angle.
Exactly. Push on in and Cetra's prepared for it. A wide peek from D. At hindi pa talaga nakakuha ng isa. 4 versus 5, push on in towards Hotel, etc. Lone man, kaya nag-rotate na agad to si KSA. There is gonna be support, but it has to be utmost para dito sa VP. They're gonna be working with numbers, and FERVID are gonna push to B side.
Naku po, mahirap na to, men. Zetra, mainit na kanyang tutok sa kanyang sniper, pero si Lance magpapakitang gilas din gamit ang kanyang TRG. KSA down, pero Zetra still threat. Tracifer, wala nang tao sa loob ng spawn pero meron ng paikot ng hotel. Magche-check-in ba dito si Zetra or dediretso ba siya via that spawn position? And ito na nga, VP with the clear all the way into LB and all they have to clear is si Lance na nasa loob. And feeling ko very well aware yung VP na merong tao dito at Lance na mismo ang lumabas para sa kanyang kakape. Pero si J-Kim, napakaganda na kanyang spot dito sa long! Could be a double spray pero makakita siya dito ni Elvin Kellar. Will get the kill. Imagine if J-Kim got that double, pare. Honestly, he still could have lost kasi si Zetra magagaling dun sa likod. But imagine, pare, 1v3 sana yun.
I mean, maganda yung ideya. Instead of trying to hold down the site in the 2 versus 4, they instead double up dun sa pag-hold nila on the flank. And while they weren't able to actually get any more damage from Lance with that TRG, they had a second player para kung mapapatay nga lang si Lance, may isa pang tao silang pwedeng makatrabaho if ever that they needed the trade. Nandun pa rin yung isa, but instead, KLR just became a demon dun pa lang sa rotate nila on that hotel, getting the 2 kills na hindi talaga na-expect ng FERVID that time. And Cetra as well, sa pag-hold niya from that B-long position as well as yung rotate niya para maklear siya ni Dracifer. Kala niya nasa RS siya. Kala niya bumalik siya on the way towards the other side of the map. But instead, Cetra just played it very patiently. At hindi na-expect nun ng mga pumasok sa site mismo. That was just clear performances coming forward sa mga players natin on the Virtus.pro. Sinabi ko nga kanina, it's a homecoming from them. High because of, I'd say, a very successful run no? Sa last nilang performance on CFS Grand Finals. Now they know that the goal is winning trophies. And this is a roster that's very capable of that, no? Having the goal to actually move to a new esports organization, keep the same roster, have another new coach as well alongside 0-2. They have the blueprint. At kung ganito yung lagi nating nakikita sa kanila, any other team is gonna have a hard time.
Yeah. They're the biggest what if in CROSSFIRE in 2025 for good reason, pare. The skill, the experience, it's all there. Parang nga dito sa Virtus.pro. But at the same time, man, FERVID, they also have some experience right behind them, pare. A7J, the man who's been eternally third dito sa CF ng Pilipinas, pare. But now he wants that top 2, pare. And I think Tracifer as well is just as hungry. J. Kim, from what I hear, this guy wants to win. Gusto niya manalo, pare. Gusto manalo ni Kim. He just wants to taste that sweet victory, no? And maybe even lift that trophy.
Baka yun pa yung maging downfall nila no. So, get the jitters off. Gawin nating tune-up game lang itong maging Virtus.pro no. Tune up sa Virtus.pro. Parang ang pangit nata pa yung gano'n no. But dapat yun yung mentality talaga no. Dapat just treat them as any other opponent and treat it just like a pub game para dito. And maybe magbago yung mindset dito sa FERVID. So we're back into the game, mga tropa. 7-7 na tayo ngayon. Virtus.pro still on GR. At ngayon, syempre, no, nakabawi pa sila. If you remember the good start para sa FERVID, they were up multiple rounds. And Virtus.pro was able to climb it back up. So, push taken. May tao pa rin na nakahawat doon balang sa may hotel. KSA still holding back that LB. So, protocol is still there for that B side of the map. But FERVID are just gonna take this patiently.
So kaya attempt ng VP dito no to actually swap things entirely out dito sa mapa natin. I feel like FERVID going into this timeout, meron na silang expectation kung sino magde-defend dito sa hotel, kung sino magde-defend dito sa A. So, facing Cetra back in that B site, no? Possible early presence there could actually lead FERVID to go more towards an A site natin. Pero knowing kasi itong Eagle Eye, man, the rotations are so quick, especially para sa mga GR. And one well-placed sniper at the right place at the right time can make a highlight play happen anytime, pare. But here comes the push galing dito sa FERVID. Dadaan na nga sila dito sa may mid doors. Kellar ang una nilang mapapangga. Spray down. Tracifer will get Kellar in return. Pero si Elvin makakaubos kay Tracifer at kay J. Kim. 2 versus 4. Lance A7J na lang natitira dito at papunta na sila sa B-side. Pero isa lang ang nakapantay, which is itong si KSA. EBR in hand. Yo, Bib, walang bantay dito sa high mid. Ang angle ni KSA ay napaka-dangerous pero di pala siya nasa site, kundi nasa loob siya ng RS. And I think itong si A7J just making sure na clear pa rin tong hotel just in case na merong gustong kumuha ng napakabilis na flank. Pero 30 seconds na lang natitira. Not much time on the board para dito sa FERVID na gumawa ng kanilang 2 versus 4 round.
Patay.
Potentially. Pero Lance, di na siya magsistay sa loob ng hotel. Kanina pa siya namamatay doon. So he will be just taking out Elvin instead. Flank down para dito sa FERVID. But that's gonna enable yung VP na mag-push ng site knowing na mag-isa lang si A7J. KSA looking for the last player. Lance will get taken down. What a peek from KSA and what a double from the entry. 8-7 VP. Dos na lang sa kanila ng Eagle Eye.
And it starts with the hold that they had doon sa high mid, no? Despite FERVID putting the smoke down, hindi yun tatapos or hindi yun magsa-stop kay KLR na makapag-spray through onto the entry itself. And with Elvin there to support, talagang nagiging death trap na yung sinimula nila on the way towards high mid as well as doon sa lane. So walang entradang kahit saan na pwedeng pasukin ang FERVID. Kaya naubos lang sila isa't isa, no? Leaving it all to the two players when they rotate on that B site. Once nakakuha ng info yung VP, doon sila magsa-strike. That's where the flanks happen. That's where KSA can push on in galing sa RS natin. And it becomes a freebie para sa VP. 8-7 na tayo. 2 more para ma-end yung magiging map pick ng FERVID. 1 minute and 30 for them to make the decision this time around. FERVID, they know that they're not just a shadow of their former selves now. A big improvement individually for everybody on the roster of FERVID. Pero for Virtus.pro, this is a message sa kahit sinong makakalaban nila on SCA Masters for the same team as last year. The same kind of kings that we can expect them to be this time around din, no? So, tamang 1-3. Actually, 1-3-1 setup na ulit dito. Ang mga players ng VP, they're relying on KSA to actually get that forward entry. Habang nakatabay lamang mga players natin on FERVID, KSA with the first kill, D with the answer back. VP have all the defensive setups na kinailangan nilang. Nakapasok na si Lance at nakahabol pa nga si Yobi with another. It's all down to J. Kim na nasa loob lamang na B-site.
Yep, it's another one of those bouts, no? Na FERVID is really just throwing everything at this VP squad, pero Wala hindi talaga nagana eh. A presence, B presence, hotel mid, kahit saan puntahan dito ng Fervid, di man lang sila makahanap ng kahit ni isang buta sa depensa ng Virtus.pro. Kellar spotted sa mid, pero alam na kung nasan si Jakim dito. He is 2 taps away with an EBR and Yobib will get the finish. 9-7. And Virtus.pro, isa na lang sa kanila na yung Eagle Eye, and it will be a heartbreaker para sa Fervid considering kung paano nagsimula yung mapa na to.
Yeah. Kahit dun sa start no? It's all about how you finish this time. KSA really was that impact player dun pa lang sa LB, no? Just becoming a nuisance kahit na smoke pa niya. It's not really a point where pag na-smoke ito, hindi siguro magsa-stop yung forward pushes ng mga players on VP. Willing pa rin sila lumaban to play around that smokes to strike them while they have that false sense of security. Kaya sa tamang posisyon lamang ni KSA, nakuha niya yung dalawa at alam niyang nakahiwalay lamang yung mga players ng FERVID. Kaya na-enable yung pag-push na on the mid side. As well as the picks coming through for Virtus.pro. So 9-7, set point. One more round para matapos ang Eagle Eye. Push coming in for D as well. The nades are out at the push comes in.
Uy, tinakita ni Elvin. Ako po, hindi siya tumaligo din time. Kellar makakasagot naman na isa dito kay Jakim. Yobib will get launch. Racifer will get Kellar in return. D nakakita nga sa top A. Almost getting KSA dito sa may hagdan ng RS. Pero Zetra na andito sa second mid. Ako po, di wag kang dadaan dito sa top A, pare. You just almost met your maker. And drop the C4 dito sa top A. Pero napakadami pa namang oras para sa FERVID mag-investigate dito sa A site natin. Even send one of the players to create some space dito sa may mid-side natin. At ayan na nga, sinasabi ko, sumobrang balikat ni A7J. And that was only a pixel, but that is all Zetra needs para makakuha ng kill dito. One low player, Tracifer, still on full HP. KSA, kalahati na, more than kalahati pare. Halos piso na nga siya dito. Zetra, 75 on him. Let's see what the 1v2 will look like. Tracifer not gonna move galing dito sa house A natin. The inching closer. RS spotted. Tracifer spotted as well. Di ka pwedeng tumayo dito pare kasi meron pang nabubuhay na Zetra. It will be KSA going in. The delaying, pero hindi niya magagawa. Right on the money. Right on 3 seconds. And it's VP that will not get the round. Nako po. Sumobra ng 0.2.
Sumobra sa clearing din, pre. And come on, VP, we're just right there. Able to get the picks in time, pero instead, the bomb betraying them at the worst possible second. I mean, this was a FERVID that really held strong. But at what cost, pare? It was still going to be a VP round that had the firepower, and the headshot was just precise para kay Tracifer. Kellar down. Trying to play around the smokes na ginagawa ni KSA kanina. Pero this time, FERVID were prepared for this. Tracifer, alam niya kung ano yung nangyayari. So we're back into that 4v5. We're back into a VP that has to play confidently with their individual positions. 1-1-2 setup. While FERVID, well, they're happy to take the pick. Hindi talaga sila sasapat dun sa pick-off na yun. No? Dapat pa rin makapush pa rin sila on B. Or instead, hintayin na lang nila yung VP na mag-aggro ulit kasi hindi talaga sila masaya na mapatay dito si Kellar.
For sure. It's up to the sniper though to try and go for anything. No, it's kind of him or itong si Elvin who's gonna try to look for any semblance of an opening. Pero ina-expect ng FERVID meron namang steady defense dito sa B side. Let's just 3-stack A. We have numbers. We can fight. Meron tayong utility dito. Si Lance lang ang magiging problema natin. If ever we cross a bit too far forward, this could be trouble. Pero napakagandang hanap para kay Yobib. Pero na-wallbang na siya dito sa may big box. 3 versus 4. Confirmed na nga na ito'y magiging 8-take. Taps are here. KSA killing 2. Pero makakapatay pa ba siya ng isa? Elvin not expected dito sa ilalim. And Lons, last one left alive. And it seems like he will be knocked back down after that kill against Elvin VP. Sealing it 10-8 FERVID with a good start. Pero Virtus.pro, mas maganda kanilang pagtatapos.
So close, pero syempre hindi pa sumapat sa Virtus.pro na nag-championan nung PH Masters. as well as coming in as the favorite dito sa mismo naging serya natin no? An eagle eye that could have been the home ground para dito sa FERVID. Sila na ngayon pumili na mapang to ay mismong nabingwit pa ng isang Virtus.pro, just like that. 10-8 tayo dito no? What a good performance para sa lahat ng nasa teams or lahat na nasa server natin ngayon no? Specifically na naman yung double duo firepower na brothers na meron tayo on the side of FERVID. We have DNA 7J having that good start nga naman na na-expect natin sa kanila since those days on execration. Sila yung very consistent, where D was really good on anchoring, A7J very good on as a flex. Pero yung Virtus.pro, their system was unbeatable talaga from the very start. They had a bit of struggles, pero nung uminit na yung sistema, nung tumatama na yung mga punishment kills na nakuha nga ni Cetra, as well as yung mga timing lurks na nakikita natin from Elvin, it seems like after that, mismong lahat na nasa Virtus.pro ay medyo naging polido na no? While there was some struggles on trying to close out that game, akala ko mag-OT pa tayo. Pero once nakuha na nila yung push na nahanap nila dito on the way towards that A site, it slowly just became crumbling down para sa FERVID na yun. Virtus.pro just handled that very cleanly, pare.
Yun nga naman, it kinda goes to show how good of a team you can be, no? Dito sa CFS Masters if you have all 5 players on the same page. And ayun nga, that is basically Virtus.pro. Kita mo naman yung tiwala nila dito kay Cetra, no? Na mag-hold dito sa hotel. Mag-isa dito sa B. Mag-isa, pare. That's why they won that last round kasi Cetra, he was just chilling dito sa B site. The rest of the members na andito lang sa A. And I really want to commend si Elvin, no? Very well played for that last round as well. KSA was just absolutely ramming everyone. At si Elvin nakaupo lang dun sa ilalim ng top A. And he was just waiting for the perfect time to execute. And it is classic Elvin at the very tail end of it, pare. Virtus.pro, it's a heartbreaking defeat, pare, but what can you do about it?
Yeah, absolutely, pare. That's just another day at the office para sa Virtus.pro. Pero syempre, that also sparks a little bit of hope para sa FERVID no? Kung ganun ka-close yung naging first set natin, ano pa kaya sa mga susunod na sets no? Ituturo na namin muna kay Mochi at kay Salvatore. Pag-usapan natin lalo ang first set na to no? Kamusta kayo dyan?
Okay naman kami. Maraming salamat, Sticky Frog and as well as Ramon. And we indeed saw how close that fight was. And also a lot of influences from their previous teams, no? Ang naipamalas dito ng FERVID. But unfortunately, Virtus.pro has been able to stand on top. Bakit kaya, Salvatore?
Kitang-kita mo talaga yung pagka-vanguard at execution ng FERVID no? They would have a very, very good start pero nagka-crumble kasi they just couldn't take the space the moment na nakakaroon na nga sila ng magandang entry. The second half, yun yung pinaka-importante para sa FERVID. All of the strengths na nakita nga natin on the first half was mainly based on their side alone. Pero yung attacking kasi nila yung pinakamahalaga dito. So yun yung kailangan natin talakayin. They were trying their best to take over sides nang hindi nila tinutuprong to. Meaning hindi nila inaatake on the opposite end para ma-counter nga nila yung rotation ng Virtus.pro. Itong Virtus.pro naman na to, inaabuso nga lang talaga nila na kaya nga nilang pruskohin lahat ng binabato ng FERVID. So from there on, alam na kagad ng Virtus.pro, walang counter tong FERVID, no? So talagang rektahin na lang natin. So the confidence para kunin ni Cetra ang hotel na mag-isa. Si Elvin hindi na nga nagro-rotate or even naglo-lurk kung saan mas kilala natin si Elvin na naglo-lurk no? Doon na naisip ng Virtus.pro na paano pa natin ipapahirapan natin, mas lalo pa nating painitin yung entries nga natin on the second half. And because of that, Virtus.pro already had the round 1 nung parang ini-expose na lang kagad nila yung pushes dito ni Dracifer, no? So everything was just picture perfect from Virtus.pro from the mid-rounding and the dueling alone. Ganun lang kasimple para sa ating Virtus.pro.
That is true, no? Saktong-sakto. Pasok sa banga yung mga pinagsasabi mo dito, no, Salvatore. So basically, there are a lot of some approaches na hindi na-address dito ng tama ng FERVID. At idagdag rin natin dito that there are some spaces that shouldn't be given pero naibibigay nila, which is quite unfortunate. But I guess that is always the start, of course, if kakabuo lang ng team nyo. And to be fair, it's not that bad dito sa ating statistics na meron tayo ngayon.
Yeah, let's give some props no? And some flowers para din KD. He was holding his own in the first half. He was trying to get some important picks on the second as well para mapigilan yung aggression ng Virtus.pro. Pero kasi yung overextension nila Lance at nila Dracifer minsan yung nagiging sakit nga nila kung bakit hindi nila nakukuha yung mid-round control. FERVID, yung pinakamahalagang rotation is during the mid-round. Of course, given na siguro na lalabanan nyo yung LA, lalabanan nyo yung LB, pero nasaan yung mid-control nga natin? Not a single person was trying to take control of bypass para makuha either yung tower sa mid o kaya yung door mid man lang. Unti-untiin nga nilang gapangan yung mga sites, but then again, the overextension, like I mentioned, yung nagiging sakit ng FERVID. Kaya ang sabi nila ng Virtus.pro, let's not send anyone early on. Labanan na lang kagad natin sila ng harap-harapan kung saan kulang na kulang ang FERVID sa pagbabawi. So kita nga naman, no, those 22 kills of D, not in vain, pero yung 17 ni Cetra na naging tahimik muna sa umpisa, pero mas naging malakas yung hiyaw niya the moment na nahanap ni Cetra yung group niya dito, no? Ending the Eagle Eye with 2.13 KD, absolutely insane. Pero the moment na may nakikita siyang miyembro ng FERVID na umaaligid, Mochi, there is someone that's gonna be put down. At yun ang kinagandaan dito ni Cetra, no? You have one guaranteed role para dito sa player na to na mawawalan ng puwersa kagad ang FERVID.
And there are even some moments na kung saan hindi dapat siya dumadaga pero ginagawa niya, and it actually works so well para sa kanyang team as well, no? So, mapaganda na simula dito, no? Pinakita lang dito ni Cetra, you know what, guys, ako pa din to. Alongside with the rest of the squad here from Virtus.pro, and once again, no, nice try dito for FERVID. Yun nga lang nga, medyo marami pa silang kailangang planchahin ng mga kusot dyan sa mga pananamit nila dito para maperfecto o maging maganda ang kalabasan ng kanilang mga laruan dito. So, dyan na muna magtatapos. Kami ay magbabalik para sa ating ikalawang mapa. Meron kayang bira ang FERVID? Malalaman natin yan mamaya. Ang naispatan siya ni KLP doon. Mukhang oo, nakita mo sa flick of the wrist. Nakukultuhan niya.
Be careful, but he gets the shot.
Uy, grabe!
Receiving play pa. Tuguan na nga ngayon si Cetra. Elvin nakabantay. He's gonna get one. And also two huge.
Nakaya, pero wait lang, hindi pa raw tapos yun. Lahat ng action, masusundan pa. We are gonna be seeing prevalence race here dito sa house.
Ano doon, no? Flash grenade. PSA! Kitang-kita niya sa KFP.
O, di ba? Sobrang bilis lang ng break natin. Nandito na ulit tayo sa laban ng FERVID and as well as Virtus.pro, wherein kanina kung kakadating nyo nandito, ang unang mapa natin ay nakuha ng Virtus.pro. Pero, just to say, may lapit-lapit naman ang ating scoreline. Sadyang may mga pagkakamali lang na nagawa dito ng FERVID kung sa bakit hindi nila ito natapos kaagad-agad.
Well, pinakita lang ng Virtus.pro na mas malamang sila pagdating sa pag-expose ng pagkakamali kumbaga sa FERVID, eh, no? Like, the comparison is definitely uncanny. Ngayon, mas magiging mabigat na para sa FERVID na mag-punish ng mga mistakes knowing na Ankara ang second map. Di naman lumalayo to sa lugar. Di naman to lumalayo sa lugar, Mochi, ng FERVID, eh, no? Alam nga nila ng mapa na to, getting that 2-0 against NCE. Pero this is now a different breed of a team na alam mo talaga na sa kahit anong angulo ng mapa, merong umaagilid na miyembro ng Virtus.pro na dumi-default nga dito, no? And the most deadliest of it all, yung double sniper ni Yobi at ni Cetra, pwede natin makita nga dito, no? And it's a possibility na pwedeng hindi nga yun maatake ng FERVID hanggat di pa nila nasosolusyonan yung pagsagot sa default ng Virtus.pro. That remains a question, no, Mochi? Pero hopefully mahanap na nga ng FERVID yung sagot na yun dito sa mapa na to.
I'm also pretty curious if there will also be some change-ups sa mga setup natin dito for FERVID as well. Will there also be a double sniper at sinong maghahawak ng mga role na yon who would be able to deliver those types of roles? Malalaman natin yan. Kaya wag na natin paghintayin pa. Iba to na natin sa ating caster, Sneaky Frog and Ramon. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Mochi at Salvatore. No? Set 2 now in the horizon. Ankara now yung map pick ng mismong Virtus.pro. At kung binabansagan ng Virtus.pro na yung best pick nila ang Black Widow, etong Ankara, for me, it feels like a close second din. No? So, Sneaky, any thoughts on this since this is map pick? Feeling mo ba makikita natin yung Black Widow mamaya or ano ba? Ano ba yung thoughts mo dito?
I feel like it's a map na really skews more sa side ng Virtus.pro. Granted, no, yung experience naman ng FERVID ay it's not as short as expected. No, alam naman natin na J. Kim's a good Ankara player. A7JD, Dracifer had their moments sa Ankara, para si Lance lang siguro yung malaking question mark, no, kung makaka-perform sa mapa na to up against this type of competition, and especially knowing how that sniper duel went dun sa Eagle Eye, no? Sa una, Lance, he was getting some really good picks dito sa depensa, men, pero he wasn't really facing itong si Cetra head-to-head, no? There was only that one time na nakuha nga ni Lance itong si Cetra on the head-to-head, but the rest of the game really was him this entire time. And especially with that kind of sniper presence dito sa Ankara, pare, one of the more, let's say, premier sniper maps natin, just like tong long A, mid, maybe some spots dito sa second mid papunta nga dito sa B Hotel. There's a lot of options para dito kay Zetra, and especially knowing Virtus.pro, no, they love exercising lahat ng kanilang options. Nakita naman natin kanina off the timeout ng FERVID, inikot nila yung buong depensa para ma-confuse yung kalaban, and it did work to a point, no, para sa kanila dito, and that's the challenge para dito sa FERVID. It's like nagsosolve sila ng Rubik's Cube na nagsashuffle mag-isa pare, basically.
Gulat ka na lang pagka-solve nila yung Rubik's Cube na yun. Bigla may sniper na lalabas bigla dun sa cube na yun. Si Cetra pala yung kailangan nilang i-solve this time, no? And it's not just Cetra, no? Parang the system placed around him, around playing this with this sniper is also like a big question mark na kailangan labanan ng FERVID ngayon, eh, no? Where will he be? At kung lalabanan mo nga at a duel, saan mo ba siya may expect, diba? Since sila yung magsa-start on BL, he could be anywhere. And there's also an added layer of Elvin din, eh, no? Sa kung saan siya manggagaling or sa kung saan siya magla-lurk this time around, where will he be coming from? That's on FERVID's minds nga naman this time around. I like the people that you mentioned as well from FERVID individually. Nakakuha nga sila ng mga standout performances from everybody in this map. Specifically now for D, this is also like a good way to kind of showcase his strength na naman as a very good GR player, where he knows his way around situations talaga. Despite him being a very young player, talagang alam niya kung paano labanan yung pressure. At nakakuha pa nga ng mga multifrags sa that. Pero kaya ba niya laban sa isang VP? Nakakuha na ng first point. Si E7J pa nga ang sisimula with that first blood.
You have to expect that kind of play, no? Fully knowing na si Elito yung nagsisnipe dito sa kabila, pare. He will be peeking HM every single time. Pero di, may kita na kasi kay Lariobe with the trade in the turn dito kay Tracer, pare. Pero tignan mo naman yung Virtus.pro, medyo nagmamadali. Pero dasan si Elvin? How is he here?
Ba't siya nandito
Nandito si Elvin sa base. Oh my goodness, the town portal scroll has worked para kay Elvin. At naandito na siya sa base ng kalaban. A7J, di namatay na magkapatid dito sa RS. Kung saan kayo magsaspawn, dun rin kayo mamamatay, sabi dito ni Elvin. VP with a U-turn trap card first round, pare.
What is this, pre? Sabi nga natin, where is Elvin gonna be coming from? Mismo tayong dalawa nagulat paano siya nakaabot ng RS in the first 15 seconds sa first round on this Ankara map pick, pre. This is crazy. Sa Virtus.pro, na agad nakuha na ng first round on the board. 3 kills para kay Elvin, and Kel are getting that first blood as well. This is not looking good para sa FERVID. Every point that they have to look forward, nasan si Elvin? Nasan yung ibang mga active players ng Virtus.pro this time? Kasi everywhere else, whether it comes from the execute or sa lurk presence, laging may threat ang Virtus.pro. So FERVID, dapat sama-sama na lang dito. They have a 2-man hold doon pa lang sa may A. It's Jakem as well as D. Always noted D about how he's able to be a really good anchor, eh, no? Pero Jakem this time, at least, I don't know about him being on this FERVID roster, eh, no? I'm not saying his individual is struggling, eh, no? Talaga alam natin yung kung gaano siya kalakas as a player. Pero in a system like FERVID, there could be some adjustments. As now CA controlled now for Virtus.pro, may nakatao pa rin on vent, so it's A7J and his patience. And it's on Virtus.pro, so kung saan sila manggagaling ngayon.
Feeling ko fully aware naman yung FERVID dito na punish mode na yung Virtus.pro, no? I mean, they already got the pick that they wanted na si Dracifer. Always so aggressive. Dito sa may hotel position natin, always looking to see if he can sneak past dito sa bypass natin and possibly behind enemy lines if ever there was an A push. Pero hindi A-push ang hanap dito ng Virtus.pro. Instead, mid-control temporarily. Zetra maghahanap ng ulo dito kay Jakim. But Jakim, 100%, you're gonna wall swing this. Nice flash kung sino man nagtapon nun. And I think that was actually A7J all the way from the A site. Pero A7J, quick scope, gonna miss USP. Makakapatay pa ba ng isa? Yes, it will! At makakaalis pa nga dito si Lito. 25 seconds. Hits the shot on Yobib. C4 nahulog na nga dito sa bottom A. Pero kailangan na nila i-push to. Kailangan na nila labanan. Hindi na nila pwede palagpasin ng C4 na nakatrap na sa A at na-trap na ang VP dito sa site, and it's a 1-1. What a bloody start dito sa Ankara natin, pare.
You just know it was an A7J call na pumasok na sila on the way towards A. Pakatapos na kunin yung umaakyat pa lang on the top 8 position. Very well handled para sa FERVID. After a grueling duel that they had, doon pa lang sa may mid-side setup, FERVID on the retake scenario is just crystal clear. They get the pickoffs. they also got themselves yung mga nakapasok pa lang sana doon sa kanan lamang ng site. We've noted about Dina's positioning, pero their calling has been improved nonetheless from what we've expected from them from the open qualifiers. 1-1 na tayo ngayon. D very low on HP now. That's probably from the nade damage or possibly from a spam. As Virtus.pro now counting on that Vents push. Gusto na lang pasukin para ma-punish ang kahit sino nakatao dito sa side ng FERVID.
Whoa. That's a peak. Okay, 1-for-1. I was expecting na si KSA makakadalawa doon considering the momentum of the push, pero si Elvin makakuha ng trade. So it's a 1-for-2 so far para sa A site, pero kailangan nila kumuha ng CA control. Hindi pwede lahat sila magagaling ng exit dito. Pero may option din na pwedeng may manggaling dito sa long A. Pero napaka-delikado to pare. Tignan mo naman kung sino naka-hold dito sa 5 box. It is gonna be Zetra on the long-range sniper. Tracifer with the timing. Si Zetra nasa floor A na. Wala na nakabantay dito sa LA. Could this be the flank incoming? Or could it be the flank? Getting flanked? Naku po si Lance. Lance, nasa likod mo na ang kalaban pare. Paset ka na ng smoke pero pawala na yung ulo mo. Pero Yobib nakatalikod rin. Nakala mo nag-iiwas ng flash. Dracifer, nakita na si Zetra. Last two, confirm. Exit. Time. Is it here? Elvin dead. Dracifer with the hole and KLR napatingin na lang sa site at nagtataka kung bakit di nasasabog ang C4. 2-1 para sa FERVID.
Well, we almost had another episode sa kung saan si Elvin na naman yung making star. It was FERVID who came at it on all sides, killed off the flank watch, and got themselves in towards the site. So nawalan ng bisa yung naging flank na ginawa ni Elvin from where he killed off Lance doon sa exit. Di siya makapasok sa site. At wala din siyang further control towards that entrance position. So Virtus.pro losing on tempo. Elvin, another possibility of him trying to maybe get another entrance na hindi na-expect ng FERVID, but instead, all eyes on every single entrance, no? Dalawa na nakatao. One on CA, may isa pa na nakahawak doon pa lang sa may vents, may tao doon sa hotel, so at least alam nila na may bawat butas na nakahold ng bawat sino. Dito pa lang sa may FERVID. But the threat is still there, it's still lingering. They know at the back of their heads, Elvin could be anywhere at this point. So this could be an opportunity para ma-take control ng both ni KSA as well as ni Yobib ang mga entrada katulad na nakita natin on that second half doon pa lang sa kanilang naging eagle eye.
D has a Vepr. Ay, sa bagay, no? Nandito naman siya sa vents. It does make sense na meron kang shotgun sa inyong kamay, pare. Pero is Vepr really the choice for this one?
Oo nga, no?
Minute still left on the clock, pare. At 59, I don't know, ano pwedeng gawin dito ng ng VP? Space on towards C8. They have to force it on Luns, pero tignan mo yung reaction ng FERVID. And this is on the game plan. Yobib spotting si Luns, pero naandito na yung trade papuntang CA. Yobib needs to die, pero hindi pa siya mamamatay dito. Space towards second mid. Kailangan na mag-rotate sa site. 35 seconds. A7J recognizing na baka manggagaling ang C4 dito sa TB, and he could be right. Nasa CA nahulog to. A7J headshot. Re-clear towards TB, pero pwede pa masalba yung round na to. KLR, kumakuha ka ng dalawa. Pwede pa. KSA, inuluhan na kasi J. Kim, pero meron magpipig ng fence na Vepr! Shredding the sniper of Zetra! KSA getting it. KSA not even making it inside of the site. 3-1 FERVID. What a dogfight para sa round natin. Pero yun yung gusto nila. The triple stack towards mid to counter the CA play para sa VP. That was well engineered para sa kanila, pare.
Fights on two hands kung saan talagang may tao dun sa mid. Muntikan pang mapatay dun si Yobid. While he was on the way towards that tunnel, A7J had a good call na alam niyang i-repick na lang yung pagpatay na dito on the side of FERVID. But instead, na-outcall na siya agad. At alam mo na nangyayari. Once na papatay itong si Yobib, they have no choice. They had no time. They had to rotate all the way back in towards that A site. And with no info, the Vepr just clutching down yung mga mapasok pa lamang doon sa may vents position. And while he wasn't able to get to, he really had the impactful play. Di na sila nakapasok at hindi pa nakaplant yung C4. So that was a FERVID that just played around the time and played around the hearts of VP who really were running out of options. Habang tumatagal yung round dito, it's really nice from them, pare.
Yeah, no, lot of time to think para dito sa VP, no. You can't really trust yung simula ng game sa overall game talaga ng VP dito, do, pare. Nakita naman natin na yung nangyari kanina dito sa ating map number 1. And especially knowing, no, na BL na naman yung simula dito, Ramon. Para sa para dito sa VP. I mean, all signs are pointing, no, na yung kanilang second half ay making napaka-annoying. The thing is with VP, no, hindi lang sila yung kagaya na nakita natin kanina where they will be sitting around 80% of the time, maybe make a play happen from time to time, pare. They will be a lot more aggressive pagdating sa mapa na to, especially itong si KSA, man. Once he gets a hold of Vince, it'll be a hard clear para kung sino man ang papasok doon na walang utility, pare.
Yeah. So it's either down towards that 1v1 na lang, no, pagkapasok ng sa Vince, or kung may magte-trade from CA. But for a team like VP, di sila yung tipong papasok ng hindi lang, ano, dry push lang, eh, no. Talagang may sistema when comes to the push, may nakatao na agad from that CA, or as well as may nakawak na dun sa flank from one of the early rounds that we kind of saw from their BL. Parang naka-lay down na yung foundation for that very same execute na ginawa nila where they had 3 people. Alam nilang okay na sila na makapag-execute kahit 3 lang sila on that A site. Kasi may nakatao na din naman from that flanking position. It's just that pag napatay na yung flank na yun, everything just falls apart para sa isang VP that they were relying on that system. Kaya mas nalalagyan ng pansin yung individuals dito, yung push ni KSA as well as yung stability na pinoprovide nga naman ni Elvin sa lurks niya dito, you know. So VP have sort of foundation laid out ever since their start as a roster with Cetra on the helm. But at this time, FERVID, new roster, new faces, and this time it is a new opportunity to possibly get this lead and continue their momentum. Sa mga pinakamalakas na mapa na Virtus.pro, we're back into a 3-1 BL still para sa Virtus.pro. LA smoked off very early on. The spam is there, so alam nila. Marami nakatao dito sa may LA on the side of VP. But FERVID are just gonna take this passively again. That same
Standard
weapon for that damage sa pagpasok nila on Vince is the same, but same din yung position niya, so baka noted na nandun si D with that weapon.
Yeah. Standard clear lang para dito sa VP. Making sure na they are just clearing itong CA natin within the sightlines ng sniper ni Zetra. And I think they will be steering clear dito sa A site natin anytime soon, especially knowing what weapon D is wielding, especially pagdating dyan sa vent side natin. Maybe it is that 2026 meta that is coming in para sa kanya dito, but still the same mode para sa VP. They got map control, pero hindi naman makati yung trigger finger nila para maglabas ng execute agad dito. They are letting FERVID spend all these smokes para lang makapag-delay sila and using all this mystery para to keep them confused.
Tama lang naman, no? Sa isang FERVID na masyadong active when it comes to their defense. The Vep are still in the hands of D, and 3 people from VP. Mukhang lalabanan na lang. Pagpasok doon pa lang sa may mid setup. Smoke placed down on the angle. Cetra gets the shot kay D. That is a fast flick para kay Cetra. Dracifer notes 1, so alam nilang papasok sila on the way towards that B side.
Oh, pero Dracifer, bit dangerous dito sa may Ares natin para makakapatay pa rin siya ng isa, pero nakita kanyang likod and will get shot easily by KSA with the USP. Pero paparating na si Zetra galing dito sa may mid-side, pero alam niya ba na dito rin paparating si J-Kim. J-Kim nagmamadali, no scope, pero nilabas ang cold headshot na lang, Goken style. A7J, last one left alive pare. A7J, nakailang clutch ka na dito, men. Pero nakaplant para dito sa RS at dalawa pa ang kailangan mo i-pick dito, pero tingnan mo naman ang mga angulo ng VP. Every single one hidden, every single one dangerous, and they finally get the second round on the board. Yung ginawa lang nila, it's the standard default mid control. They're just playing with their sniper all the way from Arch pare, and they're getting so much map control dahil lang doon, min.
Yeah. high mid push that ultimately, no, it came down to the RS lang, but D, daming tao at nakakuha pa ng dalawa ang FERVID, Jacob and D. They're getting themselves the names Keller and KSA. D but a second as well. Surprisingly, they want to go into the dogfight. And the dogfight, they are forced into VP. Patay. Bawat isa na nag-push on that mid side. And they were not prepared for a FERVID who just wanted to take heads dito, 4-2.
Yeah, FERVID, that's one way to create the solution para sa kanyang mid-control problem, pare. Just fight towards that mid side. I'm surprised na VP actually didn't held back a bit, no? Feeling ko as soon as makita nila si D dito sa kill feed, they are gonna start beelining their way dito sa A site natin, men. Pero wala masyado nagulat dito ang VP. Numbers weren't there and they just tried to fight it out, which is not really the way up against itong FERVID, pare. The way that Virtus.pro is winning up against FERVID is those smarts. And the macro play na ginagawa nga nila dito. That's why there's nades all over the place, pare. Presence across the map para dito sa VP. Pero FERVID starting to hit some nice shots, ha? Medyo nakakatakot si Jakim dito. If he can hit this first headshot, then A side is very defendable, pare.
Yeah, for sure. So all the more focus dun sa EA or guns na pwede yung pusukin ng mga players natin on VP as smoke comes out. FERVID gonna have to play passively dito. Nakapasok ang VP with KSA getting that first kill. Another para dito kay JKM as FERVID talagang tinatrabaho yung pagpasok ni KSA, but Yobe be able to stabilize. Makapasok dun sa A. Retake coming in for the side of FERVID na ngayon. As the 3v4, no clues more possible. Cetra with the shot as well. Wala na to, pre. As a VP just able to handle them like flies. Lance na lang ang natitira. And it looks like he's just gonna take an extended timeout, pre.
Grabe. Just gonna, make sure to use the rest of the timer to just talk it out with FERVID. Kasi not gonna lie, that round kind of blindsided them, pare. Kasi ayun nga, gagawa ni Kim Tony dito. And they are getting flash from both sides. Kung saan ka man nakaharap dito sa A site, no, pare, bulag ka pa rin. So what can you do? I was actually surprised na Kim was not blinded dito sa top A, pare, at nakakuha pa siya ng isa. Kasi yun nga, all those lineups galing dito sa 5-box, men, is really engineered to just destroy this top A side and you can clear it from bottom. And yun nga, well executed para dito sa Virtus.pro.
Looks like the system placed on them is now working. Habang tumatagal na, a well-oiled machine that we kind of expect them to be when they're in control. Kaya ang FERVID talagang nauubos na ng bala as Lance even eats a little bit of damage. Probably from that LA spot na nakakuha nga yung VP this time around. They're just gonna play this passively again, and with this time winding down, pwede na kunin yung CA, possibly go back and towards that mid na nasimulan nila kanina para mapag-execute on that B site. Their biggest question mark has to be the setup para dito sa FERVID, Kasi how much of a commitment will A7J have dito? Will he die? Will he get a kill? That's a big question para sa FERVID.
Oh no, Lito. That's a miss and a half para KSA. Will get that for free. At ang top lane natin ay libreng-libre para sa mga VP players. Lance gustong lumapit pero Yobib already showing Jakim his M4A1. An 8-tier weapon but still very effective in the hands dito ni Yobib, pare. But a 3 versus 5, D around the corner. The freest shot para kay Zetra. Napaka-try. At mukhang retake. Hindi na kailangan tanungin yan, pare. I think it's just a full denial para sa VP. And Lance will be the last one to fall. 4-4 Virtus.pro para walang nangyari dito sa laruan natin. And exactly like Eagle Eye, pare. 4-4 ang ating scoreline.
Yeah, a good start for FERVID. Now eventually becomes a well-drilled machine para sa Virtus.pro kapag nasa kanila na nga ang control yet again. And a quick execute on A where now a perfectly placed flash. Medyo na-displace pa nga yung presence dito ni A7J. It didn't even require that flash nung hinold na dito sa defense position. It was that wide peak na unat na lang siya na na-deal pa nga ni KSA, So, forward angle back on A kanina and it was just a clear-cut decision na pag-usapan na lang kung ano yung pwede lang gawin pa. So, 4-4 tayo. Last round before the swap para sa VP as well as FERVID. The best possible chance for VP to actually steal a lead away, and it starts with a passive control on both LA as well as that mid setup, no? While FERVID on the other hand, they're all committing with 3 members doon pa lang sa may A site. Walang kahit nakatao, walang forward angle na nakasetup as VP will now go for the hunt.
Good find. Ganda sa akin. If Jacob could have actually find the slightest gap dito sa may smoke natin and somehow finding si Elvin out of the map would definitely be a big clue para sa FERVID kung saan nga sila galing dito. Pero Yobib starting to shoot towards A main at medyo nakahalata na ang gusto gawin dito ng BP, pero ito ba talaga ang gusto nilang gawin, or is this a elaborate fake para makapunta sila ng B side? Tracifer at si Lance na nag-aantay dito. But the setup is not yet here. VP still just smoking the front dito ng EA, waiting sa kahit anong miyembro talaga ng FERVID na mag-alabayani dito and try to go for some early info. But instead, Yobib going attacker mode. Nakuha niya na kasi dito with the wall bang on the M4A1S. A7J with the trade out dito sa kanyang kapatid. 4 versus 4. Elvin padaan na ng HM. Makakaikot to si Lance. Lance na aware of his presence. At si Elvin di man lang makatalon papuntang RS. Kellar spotted due to the flash. 15 seconds. 1 cross, 1 shot would be the difference. Pero VP nakaka-plug pa nga ng site. 38 seconds. So tulak ba dito ni Kellar?
No way.
Find on JKM on the edge of the smoke. 33 seconds. Pero papasok na si Dracifer galing sa hotel. At gusto nang palabasin dito si Kellar ng B-site. KSA na lang natitira at gusto nilang hanapin ang last player. Pero KSA with the wide swing miles away galing dito sa C4. And FERVID, they collect the last laugh dito sa first half natin.
What a check for both Tracifer as well for Lance bago pa lang pumasok dun sa post plant this time around. That really gave them the entry point para makabalik dito sa naging retake scenario on the side of their Ankara map. Grabe, FERVID handling it like themselves, no? 5-4 now with a Virtus.pro that reinvigorates themselves nung nagsimula yung FERVID dito na maayos with the lead, climbing it back up to 4-4. They needed an opportunity para ma-steal away yung lead na yon, and because of the action set up by their IGL as well as ito namang si Lance, able to handle them before they can actually get set foot doon pa lang sa site. Naging madali tuloy yung pag-defense nila dito sa site, and not only that, no, the retake, it was impenetrable para sa kanila. Kaya mas napadali na ngayon, naging 5-4 into the swap. No? It kind of sets a little bit of alarm bells sa kung ano yung makikita natin on both teams. While maganda yung firepower na nakikita natin on FERVID, nakakapalag sila when it comes to those duels. Virtus.pro still has that strength of being that type of team that has that system na talagang maayos kapag sila nga yung may control dito sa laban natin. So, while we both have very big clashing of styles, the fact that FERVID gets this first point kind of sets a lot para sa magiging second half nila.
Oh, for sure. I think it is gonna be slightly more difficult, no? Para nga dito sa FERVID, considering sila na nga maglalaro ng BL side, but I don't think they do mind playing BL side, no, knowing yung mga players natin, but I do think they will be minding, no, yung GR side nga dito ng Virtus.pro. Obviously, you still have Zetra on your side and he is hitting some amazing shots dito sa mapa natin, so he's not gonna be selling us short anytime soon, no, dito sa kanyang TRG. Also, the rest of the players as well, no. Edwin's gonna be very annoying, especially pagdating dito sa hotel end or mid area. You still have to play that guessing game, no, kung nandito siya sa kabilang side ng server. And at the same time, man, yung trifecta ng depensa nila dito sa A side is really hard to penetrate, man. Even with a fully fledged na execute, sobrang connected nga na mga players nga dito ng VP dito sa A side na mapa natin, that it really makes it hard to try and make them panic. No? Feeling ko yung word na panic hindi nag-e-exist sa dictionary ng Virtus.pro.
That's true, pare. Comes from the type of achievements that they've had building up this roster. And now they're going to be tested on that BL side for FERVID as look at the damage, no? D and Lance just from one nade. Sorry, the amount of damage na set up na for Virtus.pro as KSA active na yung position. At baka ma-expect pa si A7J dito.
Ooh. Yun nga, A7J. Looking at the wrong direction, pare. Pero tama naman ang tinitignan dito ng FERVID. Pero hindi nila malagpasan ang IGL na si Kellar. KSA from the TP side. Ako po, na one-tap ka na, pare, Tracifer. Sakit sa ulo dito ni KSA. Kellar mahuhulog na rin. Elvin, Zetra, last two left alive. 2 versus 3. Elvin nasa gitna lang ng baterya. Pero makakahanap pa ba ng isa? Mukhang Tracifer masyado mabilis. Pero makakabawas pa naman dito kahit papaano. Zetra in a 1 versus 3. Not an unfamiliar spot para sa sniper ng Virtus.pro, pero pagdating naman sa B-site ay napakahirap. Take! The flick is not good para kay Tracer. I think it only hits into the wall. And a good round para sa FERVID. How did
No,
they
for
turn
sure.
that around?
Yun nga eh. I think from the push coming in on B, they were able to handle the two anchors that Virtus.pro were able to set up. Got the kill onto Elvin, and Yobib wasn't even thought about nung nakapasok dun sa B site. Mga players on FERVID, Racifer being that standout. Ano nga, ng sakit ng ulo, no? So that Virtus.pro were just lost a lot of pressure, a lot of control despite the kill from KSA. Hindi na natrabaho yung trading game na nakuha nga nila sa tsaka ni Dracifer, na nakabantay lang sa flank at nakabantay lang din sa front lines. So they knew how to handle yung B-site hold na ginawa nga dito ng Virtus.pro, no? So 6-4 this time, Virtus.pro. They have an opportunity para maklimb back yung deficit na nakuha nila. We've seen it happen before dito pa lang sa serya natin. Pero yung FERVID medyo may konting talim na so far nakikita natin ngayon. Double hold setup from Vince. This is looking like a pretty good trap na setup ng Virtus.pro as FERVID are looking to play a little bit slowly ngayon.
Yan, no? Don't wanna overextend their hand, no? Nandito si Elvin playing itong Vents position natin. It's actually double Vents para dito sa VP, which I do like if you are playing in 2-3 and yung 3 nyo ay nasa kabilang side ng mapa, aka B. Pero Yobin, nagpaparamdam na sa mid. Racifer spotted sa bypass, almost losing his life. Pero info na rin yan para sa side ng VP that papuntang A yata itong FERVID pare. And that's gonna allow the rotation para kay Zetra, which is gonna make things a whole lot worse. And especially na namatay si J-Kim dito sa Vents.
Is gonna smoke off that Vents position, or is that gonna be another re-clear para sa kanya, no? J-Kim falling down, causing a lot of problems. Pero Dracifer, how does he hit the shot on Kelr? He was gonna crouch on him. It almost like he expected him na makapasok dun sa tunnels B, but he still won the fight anyway. So talagang alarm bells ringing para sa VP. The hold coming down on B site. Yobib expected. So si Dracifer papatay sa kanya. 20 seconds, they have to push in towards the B site and plant that C4 down.
Oh my goodness, what a shot galing kay D. Straight up laser beam dito sa kanyang HK417 pare. Lunging at the opportunity to get KSA. Teka lang, FERVID. Suddenly 3 points away from winning this map number 2 and making my prediction right pare. Nako po. It might just be, pero VP man, you can't sleep on it pare. You can't sleep on it pare. Hindi mo pwedeng tulugan si Zetra. You can't get too complacent kung kayo yung FERVID. That's the one mistake that everybody makes up against Virtus.pro pare.
I mean, gets ko sila. They were confident after a really good round in the previous para sa FERVID. Pero never expecting the sniper to really clear on down on that long position. That is a mistake that they weren't supposed to make this time against the VP. Happy to take that kill for free, Cetra. Could just go ham with just that start. Good presence of mind from the sniper. And after that, I know VP now go back to their passive roles, passive positions. Konting info coming through from that hotel jump spot. And Cetras now repositions in towards that mid position. I expect ba to ng FERVID? Or will this be another kill for Virtus.pro?
Center though. Responsibility is on him and he does hit the mark pare. Di mamamatay na nga dito sa mid and a bit of laggage going on dito sa B-side natin. Pero Yobib, I think you're gonna be fine. Connects right in time onto J-Kim pare. Dracifer to re-clear pero aware na yata si Zetra na merong tao sa RS pero di niya pa mapapatay dito si Dre. Dre, buhay na buhay pa ka dito sa HM, even getting Elvin. Yobib even falling. KSA na lang natitira. The attacker turns into the clutcher. KSA spraying away pero di niya mapapatay si A7J. And it will be the 8th para sa FERVID.
Si Dracifer, pre, where do you actually expect him to be at? He knows that Cetra was on RS, pero he was at the position na pwede niya mapunish not only Cetra, pero yung rotators dito on side of Virtus.pro. Him being active just places and enables yung pag-push nila on that B site. Kasi pagkatapos nilang maklear agad yung nawawalang nasa hotel, pati na rin yung nasa B, It's gonna be a full push for FERVID without actually causing any problems from the Virtus.pro side. Kasi na-handle na nila si Cetra. This is just picture perfect para kay Dracifer na ngayon. Coming up alive with 8 kills in the second half. That is what you kind of expect from a player like him. Who not only is fragging out of his mind, but is also leading the charge as the IGL for the squad FERVID. On the verge of getting the map pick away from Virtus.pro. Only needing 2 rounds. And now Virtus.pro, where do you go? Holding down yung A site natin, Elvin and KSA. You have to be prepared for the push. Nade coming down, as well as some presence. So, Virtus.pro, no na papasok sila dun sa A. But it now falls on the shoulders of Elvin. Kaya ba niya yung dalawang push doon sa Vents position?
Elvin rounding the corner, pare. I mean, an EBR. One mean spray down would mean the downfall ng dalawang B-play or dalawang players na nasa loob ng Vents. Pero FERVID, hesitant pa rin sa kanilang setup and needs to be careful about Zetra and his presence dito sa A-site natin. It's a bit of a dangerous angle para kay Zetra, not gonna lie. These are gonna be 2 players peeking into you and bulag na bulag pa ka sniper pero tatamaan pa rin dito si T. But the angle right on their stairs is not expected. Elvin mamamatay pa rin. Dracifer, nice find, slips away in time galing dito sa room A flash. For stop A bulag si KSA. Kellar rounding the corner pero yun na nga, shots through the smoke. EBR starting to hurt itong si A7J pero wala pang confirm. Napatay sa kabilang side. Kellar nakita na si Lance. What a turnaround. A7J 1 versus 2 pero di niya na alam. Checkmate ka na pare bago pa nagsimula ang clutch. 8-5 Virtus.pro. Kaya pa bang umabol?
Grabe, parang yun pa ata yung mangyayari, Sneaky Frog. From the moment that Yobib was able to flank on down, the round was over before A7J could clutch. Clearing both the left and right angle doon pa lang sa A. And Cetra continues to keep going, but Lance, ang bilis naman for 1. Grabe, ang bilis ng trade-off para kay Lance dito. That would have been so much more devastating kung hindi prepared yung sniper na yun on the side of FERVID. Pero si Dracifer pa yung na-pick off ng Virtus.pro na to. That could be a huge pick from them, but we can never sleep on the rest of the players from FERVID. As individuals, malakas pa rin sila. But VP could just fall back into their shells and wait for FERVID to make that mistake.
It's a really good opening para dito sa FERVID. In all honesty, pare. TB, think expected na nila na especially sa ganitong scoreline, they're gonna send Cetra to try and look for some of these openers. And granted, no, nakuha na nga dito si Dracifer. There is still 4 very capable players on the side of FERVID and even the sniper still left alive. And opportunity na to para kay Lance na magpakitang gilas. And I actually want to look at Keller, no, kung papag-isipan niya if he does want to swap dito sa kanyang TRG. Pero wala man, pure EBRs na lang. I mean, just to do the job. Pero nako po, will it do the job as it even shoots this EBR pare, Elvin? Fortunately for him, di gagana ang kanyang barrel. 55 seconds. B-site. Will be wide open para sa FERVID. Kim napatingin sa taas. Nakita si KLR. Yobib will get A7J in return. Pero nasa kabilang side na mapa yun. HC's on towards Hotel. Naiwasan pa ni Yobib somehow, some way. But they need to confirm the kill. J. Kim finally with a plant. Pero di pa siya safe. Known pa nga siya sa loob ng site and D would actually get flashed. Yobib using that. He is 1 HP for the sake of info. And D not knowing where the last 2 players are. Nako po, Yobib rounding the corner. He's playing this so smart. Nako po, sobrang wary sila kung saan pwede manggaling si Yobib. Pero si D pwede luminya para sa kanya 1 versus 2. KSA nasa spawn pero tumama pa rin! KSA at the end of the day, he's just as clutch as every other player on VP pare despite being the entry.
God. A trade of a lifetime para kay KSA where all his teammates were falling down like flies. And FERVID, so close on the mark, almost getting that set point, but in the end, it came down to the trades. It came down to how well Yobib was gonna hold down that RS rotate that he had for himself. He made the most out of the 1 HP play that he had. At nantabay pa nga sila sa loob ng smoke dito. That is Virtus.pro getting another hand in towards the win against FERVID. sayang din kasi kung maiisip pa doon if they were just gonna be holding down that bat spot, na-cover na din sila ng smoke anyway. So there was no reason para makapag-push ng RS itong si JKM, or possibly because he wanted to kill off the guy na low on HP nga naman, diba? Pero you're putting yourself in a very risky position. Numbers na sila doon. And they still had the site as well, so FERVID just crumbling a little bit on the pressure. KSA, the guy that he is talaga. You rotate niya from B tunnels just made so much more sense now that I realize it, no? Once he got the kill done, he doesn't need to fully commit done. Sinamahan niya tong si Yobib para mas mapapadali yung entrance nila towards that B site. What a way to do it for him to set up KSA for that one.
Para sa mga miyembro ng FERVID para tapusin ang laro na to, but the set play is definitely needed dito para kasi ayun nga, you cannot beat Virtus.pro conventionally, no, na you execute a site and then you just come in, no. So, it works up against BB para kailangan mo talagang utakan yan.
So, talagang it's either they need magic or gulatin na lang sila dito, no. So tingnan natin yun nga yung magiging set play dito, no. 86 na tayo, time out gone. A little bit of time already expended habang ang FERVID ay tama naka-crawl up papunta sa hotel. Kel are already spotted, so alam na ng FERVID na may nakatao dun sa may hotel. The question is kung i-commit pa rin nila ito, no? Kasi hindi nila alam na dalawa lang yung nakatao dun sa may B. At dito din nakatao si Yobib. He does have that TRG dito, so long range is still supreme para sa Virtus.pro if ever man na itutuloy pa rin to ng FERVID.
At a certain point, ayun nga, no, you can't really not reveal your hands kung kayo yung FERVID nga dito, pare. Pero tamang hotel setup lang, pero mukhang ready naman yung VP para sa sitwasyon na to, with the exception ng Zetra na walang ideya na palabas na nga ng hotel yung mga players natin. Yobe forced to react, and he actually has a sniper sa kanyang kamay. DRG will blast take him out of existence. And a quick scope will actually leg itong si Dracifer, pero mabubuhay pa nga siya dito with a broken ACL. You can walk with that, pare, 100%. Elvin actually watching the flank, the flanker defending the flank para sa VP. Teka lang, FERVID, you're losing steam dito sa site. Plant, pero nababa nyo na ang C4. All you need is one pick. KSA spray down Elvin with the trade. It's a 2 versus 2. Low pa nga si Dracifer dito. Isang HE tapos na kanyang buhay. Pero isang pala lang. Pwede na makuha ng VP ang round na to. Pero 20 seconds, mapapa. Antay ba na naman tayo dito para sa PB na gumawa? Dracifer, mukhang-mukha na nga dito si Elvin, not spotting the guy in the corner. Dracifer with the drop-down caught in the hand of Zetra. Quick scope, gonna hit somehow, some way! Pero hindi niya makikita si Dracifer na nasa kanyang likod.
Stick!
Well played galing kay Dracifer, man. And he will not get the defuse. And it will be around para sa FERVID. Grabe naman yun, pare.
Set point pa para sa kanila. What a chaotic run to say the least, no? Where FERVID, once they took control of hotel, wala nang takot si Dracifer. Napatay pa nga niya agad yung isang anchor. Nagulat pa nga na nakasniper pa rin si Yobib. Pero siya rin na-overwhelm. Pati yung mga hari natin, nakakaramdam ng pressure, nakakaramdam ng kaba, kumbaga, no? Sa pagpasok pa lang ng FERVID on all sides, they already have the site in control. But Virtus.pro made the most out of their RS hold na meron pa rin sila. Napatayin nila si Lance on that mid side and they were able to prepare for a push sana, but instead, the time was winding down at ang dami ng nakatao doon pa lang sa may ramp position. Almost looked like that hotel clear that they had doon sa post plant shaved a lot of time para oo, may setup sila pero nauubusan na sila ng oras dito while they also have the firepower. Masyado na atang na-clear lahat ng corner. Hindi tuloy nakakuha dun sa bomb plant. So, now on 96 this time for FERVID. Yobib gonna hit the shot with that TRG yet again. So, it's a fine ordeal for now. FERVID still have the numbers disadvantage.
Oh my goodness. What a
Grabe.
one-tap galing kay D. Got the strafe on going and the headshot as well. Pero, A7J. Actually, double sniper on both sides, pare. Meron ding TRG itong si Lance. Yobib and Zeta rocking their own as well. And I think Yobib most likely trying to find an EBR dito sa mapa natin, man. Because I think EBR would suit him in this situation. Pero Zetra medyo mainit dito sa TB. Spotted si D. Dito sa CA, 100% ilalaban to ni Zetra. The ego is here. The quickscope is there. D is dead. Yobib, the second sniper incoming dito sa TB. 35 seconds left para mag-decide. Lance, plant ba to? Or will this just be pure kills from your side? Elvin nakaupo lang dito sa CA. 24 seconds left on the shot clock. Lance napaikot pero hindi pala. 9-7. Is this the slow crawl para sa VP pabalik ng laruan natin?
Yeah, I can believe in it, pre. VP as a team really has this type of thing na talagang kailangan maging entertaining yung mga games natin ngayon. And it was a good start sana for that FERVID squad. This double sniper setup para sa Virtus.pro has been handling them at every given corner, where Cetra just gets at them. You don't usually expect yung mga snipers natin yung magsisimula ng laban dito on that close angle dun sa B tunnels anyways. Pero talagang tatrabahuin niya yun kasi may nakaraparound na din all the way towards that mid side as well from CA. So if ever man napapatay dun si Cetra, may pambawi na agad sila from Elvin side. Pero buti na lang at nakadalawa siya dun. At mas lalo naging madali yung trabaho ng VP because of that set point given. FERVID now, push coming in on Vince. Ang dami nakatao doon. At si Elvin talagang nag-hold lang because of the flashes.
Oh, but an SMG sa kamay dito ni Lance. Oh my goodness me, the Chris Vector. The first kill in CFS history, possibly. I don't know if Jacob rocked it beforehand, but he probably had an MP5. Pero VP nagulat sa bilis at sa CQC at sa ulan ng bala dito ng FERVID. Pero meron sariling ulan dito si Kellar. Dito sa exit natin, Jacob nakatayo na nga dito sa napakaliit na cover na meron dito sa top A galing sa exit. D with the flash. Blinding the entire team, pero VP ayaw pa rin bitawan. Kellar, tumatapang na nga dito sa top A natin, pero tatapang na rin si D with the full swing. Zetra with the shot. Possible pa naman to. Hindi pa nakaplant ng C4. Zetra running away all the way dito sa exit, pero yung possibility na pwede pa siya bumalik sa exit ay naandito. Problema lang Zetra, if you do tap walk a bit too far back, you are running straight into the crosshairs of A7J. Pero maklatch mo to pare, this would be one of the best in the league. Pero J-Kim, he knows he has to respect the sniper. You have to play safe because that can happen to ya. A7J flicked out of this world para Zetra.
No way!
No advantage whatsoever. Good patience galing kay J-Kim. He's gotten too many 1v1s against that particular guy to give him anything free. FERVID getting ang kara pare.
A nail biter of a finish. Where that could have gone into another highlight moment para kay Cetra, but instead the numbers again overwhelming and Jacob able to capitalize on a solo player. Well done para sa FERVID. So many times na talagang Virtus.pro could have actually gotten in control, pero nagiging kalaban nila ang oras, nagiging kalaban nila yung rotation as well. And this all crumbled because of how well FERVID were just able to handle the battlefield. So many times na talagang it's always down in towards that execute where it mattered the most talaga, where D, not only was he very reliable when it comes to that push, pero kapag kasama din yung support ng mga players natin dito on the side of FERVID, it's just a really good battle na nakikita natin sa kanya. At lalo na din kay Dracifer na nag-step up dito when it comes to his individual calling as well as yung individual performance niya dito. You have that in that Ankara map and they made magic sa paglaban nila dito sa Virtus, kaya nagkaroon sila ng upset victory.
Yeah, I mean, FERVID, no? I was actually expecting na mas malaki ang comeback dito ng Virtus.pro pagdating ng second half, pero ayun nga, no? Hindi, actually, we didn't see it. It was, I wouldn't say yung chaoticness, pare, but it was FERVID really getting their first picks and overall finishing their executes correctly, pare, dito sa Ankara.
Absolutely, pre. 1-1 na tuloy tayo at tablado na sa entablado para sa parehong FERVID as well as Virtus.pro. At syempre, dahil Black Widow na, mas lalong rarak sa loob ng server ngayon. Ipapasa natin kay Mochi as well as kay Salvatore para pag-usapan ang kung ano yung pwedeng mangyari sa Black Widow mamaya.
Thank you so much, Sneaky Frog and as well as Ramondo. Grabe, tuwan-tuwa yung isa mo kung tatama ata ang predictionist niya. Pero other than that one, dude, sobrang saya panoorin ng mapa na yon. There might have been a very early mishaps nung umpisa, no, na nagkakapaan pa sila. Pero everything, dude, the moment na nagkaroon ng mga set piece dito, ang FERVID, sobrang saya niya panoorin talaga.
Well, if you think na masaya ang Angkara, wait till you see Black Widow talaga, Mochi. Yun talaga magbubukas ang lupa sa tinalupa na it will be absolutely crazy. Pero before we do props, no?
Andito ka na. Okay na.
Okay na. Galing ko mag-acting, no? Pero anyways, going back, Angkara is really a map destined for FERVID na alam nga nilang kaya na nga nilang kunin kagad yung first picks. Like Sneaky said, napakahalagang mapa na to para kay Lance at kay A7J na mag-step up nga, no? Pero minsan nag-over, parang ino-overwhelm nila yung sarili nga nila na kada pick kailangan nilang mag-rotate. So nagiging mali na nga in the sense of, I think FERVID is trying to overestimate what Virtus.pro is capable of, no? Na parang kaya naman nila mag-default. It's still the same timing. Wala naman nagbabago masyado. So FERVID is like, talagang igambole na lang talaga natin lahat on the second half. And it paid off absolutely, no? Ang laki ng margins na nakuha nga nila after taking down KSA and Cetra in the early game. And finally, may sagot na nga sila. After Elvin torturing the first half with the slurks, wala man lang tayo nakita sa kanya in the second, which was kind of effective kasi nga, there was just this amount of firepower mula kay Dracifer na walang nakapigil ni isa mula sa Virtus.pro.
Yeah, that is true. And there's been very much multiple rounds na nagpakitang gilas dito sa Dracifer, no? And even some moments where shutdown ito si Cetra by either D or even si Dracifer. So, that is well played indeed. Tama yung sinabi mo, no? May mga oras na meron silang mga areas na nabibitawan dito at certain times after taking a pickup. Pero feeling ko sobrang dali lang naman atang ayusin doon if they could even do that dito sa ating Black Widow. Pero ito nga, ang ating statistics dito, no? Parang kanina, Eagle ay napunta kay Virtus.pro, pero ngayon, iba ang ating kwento with seeing Dracifer with a 19 and 10 na KD dito at sinundan dito ni A7J na dude, grabe ang kanila naging performance dito, not just individually but also as a team.
Pag nakita mo talaga yung scoreline, it's the battle of the mids, no? Parang lipa na talaga yung mga positive, negative KD nga dito, no? Pero the one who stood out the most, talagang tinapakan niya lahat para umangat. Dracifer, absolutely a nail-biting second half para nga sa kanya. Kasi kung hindi nila makakapitalize yung second half na yun, Mochi, ultimo, talagang kahit sa nipis-nipis na segundo na lang na meron doon si Cetra, all Dracifer's efforts will be put in vain. Kasi napakabigat nga ng ginawa niya, ano, knowing how to cancel Elvin and Cetra all in the same setting. Napakahirap gawin nun. Pwede mong cancelin si Elvin pero hindi si Cetra, pero all he had to do was entrust yung mga kakampi niya that they can play for themselves and let Dracifer do the mid-rounding, at naging malaking adjustment yon para sa FERVID that ultimately ended with a W para sa Cebuano squad. 1.9 KD, 1.12 kills per round. Not the best headshot per kill, pero any kill is good para na nga rin kay Dracifer. So everything na inipon talaga ng FERVID on the second half paid off on the first half, paid off on the second, at nakita naman ng Virtus.pro na may mga oras na hindi dapat tayo umiigo, no? There should be some times where we have to default ourselves, pero onting tabas lang siguro na execution, magiging okay na para sa Virtus.pro squad.
Yeah, that is true. And we are gonna find that out later on, no? Lalo lang lalala. Then siguro, especially na nagkakaroon na ng ideya itong si Perfect, paano nga ba sila mag-ooperate dito? Pero once again, guys, dito na muna matatapos ang ating second map. Tayo magbabalik later, mamaya, para sa Black Widow.
Careful, but he gets the shot. And he gets the trouble naman kasi receiving play pa. Tuguan na nga ngayon si Cetra. Elvin nakabantay. He's gonna get one. And also two huge.
Kaya pero wait lang, hindi pa rin tapos doon. Lahat ng action, masusundan pa. We are gonna be seeing prevalence rate here dito sa house.
Ano doon, no? Flash grenade. PSA! Kitang-kita niya sa KFP.
Tayo ay nagbabalik dito sa ating climax para sa ating unang serie here of still Virtus.pro versus FERVID Esports. Nanggaling tayo ng ating Eagle Eye. Nanggaling din tayo sa ating Ankara. And this time, it is going to be no other than paborito ng lahat na nandito, Black Widow. Any thoughts here, Salvi?
Yeah, pagkatapos maging OFW ng dalawang teams na to, no, babalik din pala tayo sa Pilipinas with Black Widow, our nation's favorite map talaga. Na to the point na sawang-sawa na talaga ako, pre, kakapalaro ko ng 8v8 at RM. Pero feeling ko hindi magsasawa dito ang FERVID, lalong-lalo na nga rin ang Virtus.pro. This is the home soil, this is where legends are made. Dito lumaki ang lahat ng teams na kinikilala nga natin ngayon. And I do feel like the level of Black Widow ng Virtus.pro has exceeded multiple levels to the point na kaya nilang kumuha ng mapa against all gamers, lalong-lalo na nga rin against Gaming Gladiators. What more pa kaya para sa FERVID? The challenge here is kung magiging consistent nga ba si Dracy Frets A7J sa mid-round calling nga nila. Kasi yun yung naging susi kung paano nila nakuha yung panalo. Now, will they be able to topple down yung Cetra movement inside of Black Widow? Malalaman nga natin mamaya. Pero all jokes aside mo, Chino, tuwan-tuwa ako para sa mapa na to. At seryosong-seryoso kapag sinabi kong nakaka-excite ang laban ni A7J tsaka ni Cetra.
Well, dito na natin makikita, test of knowledge, and would there be some expectations for surprises? Malalaman natin yan, kaya naman kung bato na natin to sa ating mga casters, Sneaky Frog and Ramon, kayo na to.
Thank you so much nga pala kay Salvatore tsaka kay Mochi. Grabe yung simula ng naging serie na to. We're down into the 1-1 at uuwi tayo sa Black Widow this time around. Yung home ground nga naman ng Pinoy ay mas lalong magiging home ground nga ulit ng isang Virtus.pro. This is possibly their home ground. And dito din naaalala ko, parang dito na natutulog at minsan namumuhay si Elvin as well. So talagang his lurks are gonna be everywhere and you can also expect like really good anchoring plays from across the board para sa Virtus.pro. I just feel like this Black Widow is set up as a stage para sa Virtus.pro na talagang linisin na lang ang kahit sino, especially now that they're gonna start on BL.
Yun nga, no? Actually, this is one of yung few maps that I could say na lamang talaga yung Virtus.pro, no? Pagdating sa experience. I mean, they have beaten the best of the best pagdating sa mapa na to. Even in international play, let's go local, pare. I mean, they beat, I think, Macta in this one. They beat Stallions at one point dito sa Black Widow, pare. So, they beat the best of the best. But FERVID, malay mo, diba, yung this kind of plot twist into 2026, pare, yung pala yung solusyon dito sa napakalaking at napakahirap na question na paano patalunin itong Virtus.pro, pare. And I'm praying that this isn't the only plot twist ng 2026 dito sa liga natin, pa.
At sa pinakaunang BO3 pa of the season. A big surprise para sa headlines. Pero magsisimula pa lang ang kwento na to, no? Now in towards the BL side para sa Virtus.pro. At nalagyan na nila so si Obib on the way towards that third position, no? So, tawang iman na lang sa kanya. Tawang balik lamang on towards that mid-side setup, no? So, kung saan nagsimula sila on leaving Cetra on that third position, nakasimula na yung 1-3-1 setup para sa kanila. Kuha yung ES from the very start. Mamaya, makukuha nila yung pagpasok pa lang on towards that BS position. It's gonna be on the two players, A7J and Lance, to hold. And two of them holding that sniper probably cause a lot of problems in the long run sa long-range angles natin.
Yeah, tamang kalmado lang ang mga players dito ng FERVID. Meron pa naman silang map control that they do find important, no? Zetra, I think trying to get an early spot dito sa window B player natin at possibly is the only sniper. Papunta ka dito sa may mid doors pero nagkamali siya ng tigid and instead will get filled with holes dito due to Dracifer's HK417. Pero si A7J ay nakabantay dito sa trend natin. Lance na andito sa ilalim. TRG kailangan ready. Flash. A7J hindi nabulag kay KSA but he will fall down. Elvin Yobib from the long side. At si Yobib Maagang nilabas dito ang kanyang sniper pero Tracifer makakasagot ng isa. Elvin, low HP. One tap kay Tracifer onto KLR and Elvin already on the low HP will get taken down. That's a really good, I wouldn't say retake pare. It was more like nakaabot lang sila dito sa A site and it just so happens na VP are just pushing pare.
Absolutely, pre. I mean, this Fervid roster just showing their big guns na ngayon with Tracifer with 3 kills. And he was also one of the few people na nag-rotate all the way from baba RS para talagang bigyan ng malaking question ng VP kung tutuloy pa nga ba rin nila ang short push na ginawa nila kanina as A7J now starts off strong papunta kay KLR na nagpakita lang dun sa waters and instead now down to the grave, no? VP had that possibility na pwede nila ulitin yung play na ginawa nila against all gamers nung nag-start ng CFS Grand Finals where they rush on the way towards that mid-side. Ang problema nauna si Cetra kumpara kay KSA na usually siya dapat yung mauuna kung kukunin nga nila yung respawn na yun. But Cetra falling down as well in that first round kinda caused a lot of problems so bumalik sila agad. So kung saan sila usually nagpo-push back onto that sa BS, masama nga lang prepared na agad yung Fervid dun sa round na yun. So now with the one man down, Virtus.pro will have that tendency ulit no, na magsama ulit into getting an execute going. The biggest problem about this is if papasok sila dun sa B, nakaset up na yung kabaong as well as yung steel box hold na pwedeng gawin nga naman ni Jakim dito para sa side ng Fervid. So with 1 minute on the clock, they're looking for that possibility. Pwede nila lang ulitin yung ES push na sinimulan nila kanina from that first round, but I guess that could be the play para sa kanila.
Okay. Ang nagalaw galing sa dalawang sides natin after that first kill on KLR. And I think ginagawa ng VP yung kanilang usual style, no? Just sending one person in and basing yung entire execute nyo off of just one bit of information. And usually, VP are quite good at doing exactly that, pare. Nako po, Lance out in the open. That is not where a sniper is supposed to be, pare. D will get Yobib in return. Pero sa KSA, dire-diretso lang dito sa A-side. Zetra nakita na nga ang opportunity and he will take it. Elvin, nako po, napakalibre. Di just running on into his crosshairs, pare. Jakim na lang natitira. And I know, he's pretty clutch dito sa mapa na to. Pero pagkalaban kasi yung VP, this is a different kind of beast compared to the usual 5v5s, pare. And Virtus.pro will go 1-1. At least may sagot agad, pare.
Man, oh man. The spot where Lance should have been holding doon pa lang sa may long A. Na once napatay siya dito, eh doon pa lumapit doon si Cetra. Napatingin sa dalawang angle to si A7J and quickly just dealt with agad sa pagpasok ni Cetra on that long side. Well handled sa naging timing this time for VP as now they got themselves that control on that A side itself. Ngayon sa B naman magsisimula. Si D papasok on that kill. Gets the kill kay Elvin pero si KSA ngayon nga gagawin yung mid-side push na ginawa nila kanina.
Yun lang. A7J a bit late on the trade, no? At nasaspatan pa nga yung kanyang kapatid dito sa site. Pero mahulog pa kasi KLR despite having the open pick dito kay D. And suddenly it's a 1 versus 2. Zetra nakita si Tracifer but he will have to spot 2 more dito sa ating B site. Pero dami pang oras, pare.
Yeah, C4 down as well. So Cetra, we usually see him in positions katulad ng ganto, no? In clutch situations na kaya niya kunin yung 1v1s. Lalong nasa same sightline lang si parehong A7J as well as Lance. So baka madaling ma-isolate. Gets the shot papunta kay A7J. So info given para kay Lance. But Cetra has the mechanics.
Uy, 1-on-1. Snipey v Snipey. Oh no. Oh no. Mr. Lance. Mr. Lance! Nako po, Zetra.
Kita.
Spots both. Nako po, nagkakitaan na nga sila dito. Pero sino mauuna sa kabaong? Zetra ba? O si Lance? Hindi nagtatamaan. Left, right, and center. Jump peak. Nakita ang kanyang puwit. Pero yun lang. The drop shot from Lance. With the quick scope on the TRG. That's what I'm talking about. Lance, you need to hit those kinds of shots, pare, if you want to win up against VP.
And that is a surpriser. Laban dito kay Cetra who usually is good for those 2v1s. Lance just playing kabaong with perfection. Not giving any sort of image para kay Cetra makapag-capitalize. And he continues to go on for more to get the shot kay KSA. Ang bilis ng trade galing kay Yobib though. A7J baka sumunod pa. Dalawa na yun para kay Yobib. As Virtus.pro Open entry back in towards RS, pero J-Kim surprising with 2. Nailed it by Obib. Tracer for na 1v2. How will he work this out? C4 still in B site.
Hindi chinek. Oh, no. Yun lang. Oh my goodness me. 2-2-2. And chaos is usually the word that I would not like to describe it on Virtus.pro, pare. Pero nagkagulo lang sila dito sa mapa natin. And it was just pure fighting across the board, man. Parang feeling ko FERVID na, ayun nga, no, it is the call out dun sa kanilang old habits, pare. That overfighting, that overextension for a play that could be delayed for later. And ayun nga, man, di pwede yun ganito. I mean, every single point you give the VP, that's an additional 2 minutes para mag-adjust para sa kanila, pare.
Yeah. As you can see, they're also slowing down now. Na-recognize nila yung overplay na yun, so the key difference is that they didn't take the timeout. They realized that sort of problem na meron sa kanila, so chill out and play for time now. Sama-sama on the way towards that store B position. Jump spot in, J-Kim alam na yung presence. Pasok gets KSA and quickly gets one and probably the second para kay KSA.
Oh my goodness, Elvin getting both as well dito sa A-site at Cetra the cherry on top dito sa ating full wipeout dito sa FERVID. And that is a KSA classic, pare, yung tamang flash lang sa bungad dito ng kulangot, pare, and he just jump out dito sa may bintana with the USP, and of course the USP being the USP as it is accurate even while jumping, no, can create entries like that. So FERVID, medyo nagulat kayo, pare. The team that usually likes to do the surprising is now the one that has to do the solving. Paano nga ba nila tatalunin itong Virtus.pro with these kinds of rounds? It's all over the place, pare. It's slow, fast, methodical, chaotic, lahat na ginagawa ng Virtus.pro to confuse itong FERVID.
It's a different look din na mismo tayo nagulat no, kasi hindi nga usually ganyan yung nagiging playstyle ng Virtus.pro. They usually will be the ones na magpapunish ng kahit anong forward aggression. Pero kung ang FERVID mismo hindi nagpipeak or hindi gumagawa ng any forward angles, yung mismong Virtus.pro na yung nag-adjust at sila pa nga yung talaga may tendency na lumapit at sila na mismo yung nagpo-force ng mga fights na nakita mo from the previous round. Opportunity for them to probably show a different face yet again. And yun na nakakatakot no? Sa kung ano yung na-expect mo sa isang team katulad ng Virtus.pro na dapat mag-play passive, sila naman yung parang nag-show ng different look. So all the all the studying that you have sa mga araw leading up to this point, parang mismong gumuho na kasi kung anong mape-predict natin ngayon sa Virtus.pro na pwede na ulit ngayon maging aggressive no? What is the play kapag kasi KSA naman yung nag-iinit? Will we have a double setup again? Will we rely on yung metal box crossfire as well as yung kabaong hold na ginagawa nga dito ng FERVID for the past couple of rounds out? Is there gonna be a difference kung may mababago ang ibang mga players na position? Kung if ever nga na mag-expect sila ng aggressive na Virtus.pro, saan nila ilalagay yung tamang player para sumagot na natin questions na yun?
That's the thing, right? Yun nga, Virtus.pro usually good with the pieces. But sometimes chess can get chaotic, especially when FERVID is in play. And yun nga, when the Bishop is doing 360 no scopes, pare, you are in trouble dito sa laruan natin. Pero, ayun nga, FERVID. Oh my goodness me! Lance caught in 4K dito sa LA. Kitang-kita sa quick scope ni Zetra. That was fast but expected, no? I mean, it's Zetra, bro. He hits those kind of things. Pero KSA, tatalon kaya? Tatalon to 100% for this entry, pero kaantay ng pop flash yata galing kay Yobib.
Possibly.
Naku, nililinya na.
Kaya nga may position on in. Release smoke on that mid side. Hindi nagpakita na din. So alam niyang may isa pa dun sa waters. KSA with a lot of damage. That it could be everything pero mapapatay no. Boy pa si KSA still on waters, so that's still info given up to them. And I know that somebody is on the way doon pa lang sa may store B. So instead VP, sabi nila, sige, wag na tayo dito. Mamba out na. Rotate on tear. Kung saan may control pa rin sila after that first kill kay Lance. And after an open A site from FERVID, this definitely could be a push for VP.
Ito na all of this in the B side. Off with just one bit of info, pero D actually taking out the low KSA, but it was all a fake. A-site pala ang hanap nila dito. Yung Fervid nakatingin dito sa B, pero pagkaikot nila, Zetra nakatutok na sa kanila dito. A7J gusto magpadali dito sa short. Nakuha na nga yung isa, pero nasala pa nga siya ng HE. D getting Zetra. Teka lang, 1 versus 1. And this is getting frisky. Nakaputato na dito si D sa short at mapapabalik! Di nakatakas pa! 20 seconds. Teka lang, KLR. Alam na alam ka na dito, pero maglulong na lang ba si D? Feeling ko italon mo na lang to pare, pero narinig yata yung kanyang pagtapak. KLR nakatungo sa maling lugar and abot ba?
Big time ba?
5, 4, 3! Di yata abot.
Close but not gonna be enough para sa kanya. Oh my goodness. The wrong position, the worst possible time para kay KLR sana. Kaso blessing yun para sa VP. Where he was trying to rotate back sa pag drop dun sa RS. I mean, gets naman kasi may expect siya dun sa mid. Definitely could have died actually earlier than expected, but instead he needed to go back into where he started. But it took so much time kaya hindi siya nakatapak mismo sa may C4 this time. So a close but no cigar moment para sa FERVID into that 2-4 scoreline. At ngayon, si D naman yung may hawak ng TRG dahil nga naman sa spam damage. Probably na leg shot siya sa kahit sino dito sa Virtus.pro na naka-double TRG setup eh. No? You've been Cetra holding that down. Iwan siguro tong si Cetra possibly to take care for himself habang mga players ng VP so making their presence, making some noise on that mid smoke na ginawa nga nila kanina. So it's gonna be on FERVID. Kung pupush nga ba nila yung ES na to, kung lalabanan nga nila yung possible mid space na pwedeng kunin ng VP. A7J nakalabantay lamang dito sa smoke. And if he kills off this C4, then that's gonna be problems para sa VP. If ever man na mag-push nga siya dito.
Oh, hold on! There's an entire push going in towards bridge and mukhang FERVID sila yung mananalo dun sa sitwasyon na yun. Map control temporarily, pero si KSA gumagapang sa panalo ni Dre at hindi niya may expect. Ako po, KSA with the miss! The occasional miss galing kay KSA, pero si KLR na miss patatapos kay Dracifer. Out in the open dito sa B-slide. A7J, good position to be in, especially this late dito sa round natin. KSA bawas na nga. Almost down to 1. The only threat at this point is the man wielding the sniper. And his name is Zetra. Doesn't catch the jumping Lons. He actually hits him. Pero si Lons makakapanalo dito. Sa sniper fight sa A. Good wallbang galing kay KLR. Alam niya meron pa isang player na nanggagaling dito sa ilalim. D. Palabas na dito ng bintana. KLR nakapatong pa dito sa double box ng ating rampa and will be the cause of death. Pero KSA nakatingin dito sa death cam.
Time.
May kita ba si A7J? Tago-taguan na lang ba to? And D? Naku po, nagtago na yung magkapatid. Ayaw na magpakita dito. And both will live to see another day para at least another round. 4-3 FERVID. Grabe, the delay is real. Galing sa kanila dito, man.
So much so. Na-feel ng VP that they needed to make the move. At sa pagpasok nila from that nearest position, they popped into a DNA 7J setup. Definitely a death trap that they set up for themselves. Kahit pa nga din dito sa push na ginawa nila on the waters, na-expect pa rin sila ng VP. But instead na kuha pa rin nila yung mga 1v1 advantages nila dito. Especially with how well Dracifer was able to get the trades in time. Pero ang dami pa rin oras na ginamit dito ang VP. So, ginamble na lang nila yung pag-push on LA. And it didn't work out, especially with the A7J and D brothers. Still holding down the sight lines on that A-side extremity. 4-3 tayo ngayon. FERVID humahabol despite VP now getting that strong start. A good hold from Lance could spell disaster sa VP. And Cetra falling down is definitely going to be a good start para sa FERVID.
KSA, nakarating na ng hagdan. Nakita na si Lance, nakita na si Dre. At meron sa katabi dito pero di matila nilang dito si KSA. He has to go for the wide swing. He's now down to 1 HP at mamamatay rin sa kamay ni Yobib. Elvin, even getting the sniper. Dracifer, mag-isa lang dito sa short natin pero may paparating na ng window A. And KLR, naku po, nakita sa bunga ng smoke and that will drop the C4. Entirely possible para kay J. Kim. Considering hawak niya ang HK417, dalawang ulo lang. At pwede pa makakuha ng pang-apat tong FERVID, pero mahirap to, men.
Iniikot pa ng mundo ni J. Kim to. Kasi may expect siya kung galing siyang RS dito, you know. So, 40 seconds and VP are taking the approach on that B site na lang. So, on top of the other, the info na nawawala sa kanila, ginamit na lang nila as their own decision to rotate back on B site. So yung pag wrap around the world itong si J. Kim papunta dun sa A na wala ng visa. So that's gonna be a lot more time shaved off para dito kay J. Kim in the 1v2 clutch laban sa dalawang players on VP. One on the sniper and one holding down the extremity.
Okay, J. Kim. One headshot could make all the difference para sa'yo, pare. Pero patience lang dito si Elvin. I think narinig niya yatang tumapak. Itong si J. Kim and si Yobib na lang pala bahala dito sa window B. At ito na nga ang pang-5 ng Virtus.pro. Not good news para dito sa FERVID, pero I think definitely doable galing sa kanilang BL side kung makakuha nga sila ng magandang simula. Pero, ayun nga, no, they're not getting as much map control as they want to, no, dahil nga dito kay Zetra constantly threatening itong long way natin and really creating a lot of space para sa kanyang team even though solo lang siya after most of the time, pare.
Yeah, just a long A push na ginawa kanina. Started off well para sa VP and could have actually like held the round a little bit leaner kung nakuha nga ni KSA yung double spray down na yun, but I guess you can't deny that Lance is still an individual that kailangan din nilang pagtuunan ng pansin, eh, no? So now push on in towards that ES position. B is taken by KSA. AS7J has the angle. Nakaset up na para sa TRG na to. Gets one Elvin with the spray and Elvin gets the double K as well. Grabe yung laban dito para sa VP as they now hold down that A site. Now possibly for the retake for FERVID.
Uy, pero nandito sila sa ilalim, ha? Zetra. Nawala na nga ng ulo dito. Yobib will have to go for the full wraparound bago ba matay ang kanyang kakampi. Outnumbered on this A side, 2 versus 3. Pero naandito na ang backup ni Yobib. Window A, J. Kim, spotted spawn. Meron na sila alam dito sa long, pero di nila mapatay si Yobib! Mapa EBR or TRG! Napakalupit mo talaga, idol. Pero si Lance lang natitira, mapapatalon sa labas ng bintana at mapapapunta sa kanyang kamatayan. 6-3 VP with a 3-point lead bago mag-turn yung half natin.
And we had back-to-back sets kanina where both teams have started off 5-4 sa first half. Ngayon pa lang ay nagkaroon tayo ng wider gap sa naging set-off natin in towards that 6-3 scoreline and a decisive round para sa Virtus.pro that really does showcase yung naging strength dito ni Yobib, who not only is willing to get those fights to his favor, pero willing actually to also flex in between that M14 as well as yung TRG na yan on maps like Black Widow is something na undeniable para sa Virtus.pro na talagang isa mga strengths din nila as a team. So well handled para kay Yobib and a good foundation para sa naging first half nila. Ngayon na nasa GR sila lalo, ay dito lalabas yung strength ng double sniper setup nila lalo. Feeling ko talaga FERVID will need more than just time para pag-usapan to. Kailangan din nila silang either labanan on that double sniper setup or possibly just throw another surprise in the mix, but I feel like from that first half, inaubos na yung mga pwede nilang ipanggulat laban sa Virtus.pro, eh.
For sure. I think capable naman dito yung FERVID of pulling out like, you know, the double sniper, even the triple sniper. No? I know some of the players dito sa roster no, are actually very capable as well. And yun nga lang, no, the double sniper just feels a lot better sa kamay talaga ng Virtus.pro. I mean, you gave Yobib the early onus, no, para uminit dito sa mapa natin. And now he's just absolutely frying everybody, pare, with the TRG. And the exact same thing para kay Zetra as well. It's gonna make yung map presence a whole lot harder, and especially para dito sa FERVID, long will be such a pain to try and control, pare. Away talaga to. Pero KLR, unang mamamatay dito sa Virtus.pro. Double nade, KSA, shot in the head, double kill. Pero Elvin will be facing all 5 members ng FERVID dito sa long, pero si D lang ang kanyang makukuha dito, pero hindi pa sila magpupush. Hindi pa sila magpupush. Tingnan mo yung dalawang natira natin, pare. They are not crossing for good reason.
think I saw 4 nades coming forward sa mismong pagmumukha ng VP nung time na yon. There was no chance at all for Elvin, even though he actually wanted to keep that fight going. He was flashed, so wala siyang idea kung nasaan siya, kung saan man siya naka-position nung time na yun, no? So, quick reset for FERVID. They also put down fake util back on that mid side, opening up that space dun sa A, and I think this calls for a double retake scenario para sa VP, especially with the position from Cetra. They know that B side is wide open. Almost the kill from Cetra, but it's still gonna be 2v4.
Delikado yung posisyon dito ni A7J, ha? Nice shot galing dito kay Yobe, pero gonna need 3 more of those in order to make this round possible, pare. And I like this galing dito sa Virtus.pro. Lineup smoke on towards the position of Luns, pare. And Luns, di na alam kung may tao dito sa RS or naandito sa window A, so he will be displaying the smoke itself. Pero tignan mo naman, Virtus.pro nagmamandali na nagtatapok na dito sa long Luns. Pumutok pero hindi siya tumama. 5 seconds left at wala ng oras ang Virtus.pro para mag-defuse. And Zetra probably just gonna hold it, pare, for funsies. Pero sasabog na lang siya dito sa site. And the 4th para dito sa FERVID.
I mean, you talked about it na nga din, yung lineup smoke na yun. It doubles as not only a bit of a disruption smoke sa kung ano yung angles na nakaset up dun sa short na pwedeng mahawak ni Lance on the TRG. Pero it's also a cover smoke para mismong maklose yung gap ng dalawang VP players na makalapit dun sa long A. A good thing in theory, pero in practice medyo nakulangan lang sila ng oras, no? Dahil siguro sa rotation nila all the way towards the flank itself. So, again, hindi nagkukulang sa strat ang VP. FERVID just have the time advantage as well as the numbers as well. Mahirap nga paglabanan as we watch this replay as well. Again, like I mentioned, 4 flashes invested para lang ma-quad peak yung dalawang nagpo-push tatlo para sa VP that point in time. So I like the confidence coming forward from their GR, but it was a FERVID na sobrang prepared. Nakalabanan yung mga tatlong nakapush all the way towards that long A position for VP. 4-6 now. ES now in control. Dalawang nakatao for the side of VP. So dapat high-low setup na lamang ito. Good shot from Elvin. Good shots on the double. As FERVID calling on the brothers to try to get the trade in time. Yun nga lang. 3v2 pa. And it's VP now having the lead.
Yun na nga, pati si A7J nadama na nga dito sa pasabog ng A-site. Lance na lang natitira. And the TRG will fall. Okay. Virtus.pro. Just as expected, pagdating sa kanilang depensa, looking squeaky clean after a round mistake na masasabi nga natin dito. And back to basics para dito sa Virtus.pro. Immediate switch up sa kanilang default nung they immediately went 1-1-3. And they want to enable itong si Zeta na maaga pa lang, pare. Gusto nila he is winning every single fight up against Lance, pare. And that he does!
He had a nade in his hand as well, so opens himself up para sa shot kay Cetra, who now also has a little bit of control dun pa lang sa may ES habang iniiwan nila si Yobe. Kung magro-rotate sila sa long A, 4 na nakatao sa FERVID, so papasok sila dun sa A site.
Uy, wait lang, bawas sila lahat. Not the best HP to drop into, pero KSA unang mamamatay para dito sa VP, pero Elvin makakuha ng trade. A7J nasa EOC4, pare. What do you mean? Nasa spawn ka. Get back up there, D. Clean up what your brother made. It was a huge mistake, pare. Nako po, clean up on aisle 5 dito sa ilalim ng RS, pare. Pero okay lang. Tracifer, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Could this be a round that has been lost? Dahil nga, na-lose track natin ang C4. Dito sa baba ng spawn. Ako po, Elvin with the post. Take him. D. Okay, 2 kills. Yobib na andito sa rampa. D na lang mag-isa. That's an HC. But still, 1 more second. 1 more bullet para kay D. That would have done it para sa FERVID. Pero KLR making sure na sa kanila yung pang-8 dito sa game natin.
I mean, the chaos of that round. And mismong nagulantang pa nga yung FERVID on what the setup was gonna look like. The drop on that C4 kasi napatay nga si A7J. And quickly, the brother, D himself, trying to clean up the corners, trying to clean up the mess. And when they walk in towards that A site, medyo naubos pa nga yung kung ano yung possible nilang oras para makapag-reposition in the post plant. Giving an opportunity for both KSA as well as KLR to actually capitalize on them. Out in the open pa nga sila ng time na yun. So it's still gonna be around for VP 8-4. A7J nakapatay ng isa kay KSA. Already with the push coming down doon pa lang sa may A site. As with a 4v5 just like this. Happy to take the space. Kuha ang C4 and possibly go towards that B site. Or at least, no, contest yung waters natin para magkaroon sila ng konting map control.
Okay. Lineups para sa B site natin. And Fervid wanting to go the textbook route, pare. And Yobib wanted to go face-to-face with Danger, pero buti lang na nakatakas siya in time. USP pulled out. Headshot is there. How does he have time to live? And it is all thanks to Elvin and with his cover from the door side, pare. Rushing on in to help his star player. Makes it at least a 2 versus 2. Could have been a bigger disaster para dito sa Virtus.pro. Pero naayos pa nga nila, pero hindi pa tapos ang labanan. Fervid, kailangan pa nila i-plant yung C4 pero napapaisip pa nga si A7J kung push na ba to o hindi. Pababa na nga siya ng bintana. Nakarating na nga siya ng CFS. Bumalik ng HP. Spotted si KLR. And this is why A7J, he really likes to plant that C4 late just to make sure na alam niya kung nasaan yung last player. He just sends it on Zetra. What a mad lad! A7J, this could be the worst or the best idea you've ever came up with. Pero pareho kayong low ni D. Pero nilinis na nga ni Lil Bro. And 5-8 Fervid. The energy is back. Pero kaya pa nilang bumalik sa game, pare.
It's not always a situation kung saan ikaw yung may hawak ng C4 pero ikaw mismo yung gumagawa ng play para sa team mo. Would have been a disaster. It would have been one hell of a fumble kung nakuha pa nga yung 1v2 clutch na yon. But the confidence from A7J possibly boosted up because nakuha nila yung trading nung pumasok sila dito sa B. Sobrang duguan ng parehong si Elvin as well as Yobib. And when set up into the 2v2, instead of trying to go for the objective, A7J just calls upon D para makapag-set up ng Crossfire. At hindi nga Crossfire yung pinagtuguan ng pansin dun no? Parang nag-double pick pa nga sila to try to overwhelm the last player and it worked out for D in the end. Kamuntikan pa nga to get that send point. And this time, Fervid in a 5-8, they are fighting back with everything that they have. And sometimes they're sacrificing bodies just to get themselves that win this time around as now double push up on Waters. May dalawa na nandito. Si Elvin nakahawak lang. The amount of time that Fervid have expended para i-set up yung positions, di nila na-clear at hindi nila alam na nandito si Elvin. Maybe later it could be a really big problem. At lalo na ngayon si Trace pinag-drop pa. No, Elvin! Freest kill of his life! And now Fervid just wanna rotate onto LA. Napatay na yung lurker. So dapat pumasok sila.
Yun lang. And yun nga, Lance kind of struggling with the behalves of it going back towards B. Hindi nila in-expect yung sitwasyon na to. But you never ever expect kung saan nga lalabas itong si Elvin pa rin. Elvin playing the one-man defense in the B side. He will be the one-man stopper at least to try and delay. He will be Hodor dito. Pero yun lang, nabukas agad ng kanyang bungo dito sa B side. Pero meron na paparating dito na para tumulong kay SA. Will not get to help. Another headshot para kay D. Pero Zetra, nakuha na nga si D. Finally, kill streak gone. A7J, di pa na across the site. Yobib, dumiretso na. A7J na lang natitira. Can you produce another clutch to save Fervid and your run to win up against the Titans of VP? Spray is there para kay A7J pero narinig na yung pagpalit ng baril dito ni Zetra. 5 seconds, pwede siya mag-plant. Napakadaming oras. Naku po, pineke pero hindi mapipeke si Zetra. And ayun lang, he's a bit too wise for your tricks. Onk A7J, 9-5 VP, one away from finally closing out this goddamn series, pare.
A round that could have been salvaged because of D, his heroics, as well as A7J on the clutch. Pero yun nga lang, Virtus.pro, they want to shut the magic down. They want to close this in their own fashion. Textbook kung textbook. The robot is active para sa sniper on VP. Zetra getting that opening. A7J. Patay at ang C4, hindi pa hawak ng Fervid. So a little bit of time invested. And possibly the last run, their death march para sa Fervid sa pagpasok on that A site. Sniper still in the hands of Zetra. And the spotted pa nga tong si Lance, eating a lot of chip damage sa pag-peek niya on that A. At dahil sa presence on the util as well, hindi nila titingnan at all yung A site on the second look. As VP, they're holding strong with relatively perfect health across the board. At nakapush pa nga si Elvin, pati na rin si KLR. This is both mid and B on full lockdown.
Pasan pa nga si Tracy for my man sa 1 HP. My goodness me, that play was so good. It muted my mic pare, pero titignan natin kung meron paparating dito na A-site. KLR on 1 HP. FERVID, kaya pa ba? The jaws of life, it's out. Pero Virtus.pro, gusto nang tapusin ang labanan. FERVID, just another pawn in the Kings game of Virtus.pro. The first win of the season para sa C Masters.
And it was as clean as we expected them to be on the Kings. Dito pa lang sa Black Widow with a 2-1 victory laban sa FERVID that were fighting valiantly up until the bitter end. And what a performance to showcase ka naman para dito sa mga youngsters natin on Yobib, etc. To actually show off what they can hold either on the double sniper setup or doon sa pag-hold nila on the extremities itself. And where it kind of just went back and forth nung first two sets natin. Pero dito sa Black Widow, it was the most decisive game sa isang Virtus.pro na talagang binansagan natin as either going to be the Kings or the top two at the very least, diba? Para dito sa PH so far. But for SEA Masters, it was a good start for both of these teams. And despite the loss, FERVID actually had a really good fight sa paglaban nila against the Kings themselves. Pero nung dumaan sa pressure ang mga FERVID players natin, hindi enough yung naging firepower ni A7J as well as ni D laban sa isang sistema ng Virtus.pro na talagang nakuha na nga nila yung linis, especially after they got themselves that roster last year pa.
Ayun nga, no, I think judging from history as well, actually, itong EVOs, usually they do win yung kanilang first game pagdating sa mga Masters natin in a 2-1 fashion. Kaya, thank you, VP. I'm now top of the leaderboard dito sa rankings ng predictions thanks to some pattern recognition dito, pare. Pero, usually naman Virtus.pro, they do like to start off, a bit, weakish sa start ng tournament natin. I feel like blessing in disguise that they didn't face the best of the best yet dito sa tournament natin. But then, I mean, that's a bigger story para sa FERVID, no? They actually contested itong Virtus.pro up until the very tail end ng series natin. And honestly, it's a good baseline para sa kanila, pare, especially with the expectations na meron tayo dito sa FERVID, no? I mean, having to enter possibly into top 4, this is already a show of good form para sa kanila dito. But at the same time, this also goes to show na Virtus.pro from last year to this year, nothing's really changed para sa kanila dito, man. They're still the exact same dominant team na everybody knows that can play every single style, that can play every single way of CF, pare.
Absolutely, pre. This is a Virtus.pro na medyo na-expect na nga natin because of the least amount of changes on the board. Talagang same para sa business nila ngayon. It's not dominant, pero syempre still a statement win 2-1 para sa Virtus.pro. At syempre, tapos na yung pag-uusap namin about that series entirely. We'll give this opportunity back in towards our panel. Mochi Salvatore, kamusta naman yung manalo ng Virtus.pro?
Panalo ang ating mga paboritong antagonista dito lang sa CROSSFIRE Philippines, at ang ating unang alay para sa mabungang taon ay walang iba kundi ang FERVID. Sad to say, para sa FERVID, it was a very close effort, pero only far lang ang pwede mo makuha sa ideyang close effort. Pero man, Virtus.pro showcasing why they are indeed former champions ng Masters, no? Showcasing master prowess sa loob ng Black Widow.
Yes, of course, no. And nakita rin naman natin doon that despite of all of the things na pinaplano dito ng FERVID, may mga oras na sila ay na-outdo ng ating doers, especially when it comes to the burst of courage, no, na mga mapangahas na mga plays natin dito, especially from the brothers of A7J and as well as itong si D. Pero yun nga, certain times, as much as it works, hindi siya substantial, which leads to still Virtus.pro being able to get this edge dito sa laro natin na Black Widow. And I guess it is just another day for them, no? Parang in-expect na rin din natin to, but it is still good and great performance for FERVID kasi talagang mataan natin na meron naman silang bira, nakakasunod sila at malapit-lapit yung ating mga laro dito all throughout the maps.
Actually, Mochi, no, bago magsimula tong laban na to, pinag-usapan na kagad natin na hindi to magiging magandang Black Widow para nga kay D kasi feeling ko magkakaroon ng magandang pwesto si Elvin every time that there's going to be an altercation. Not just Elvin battling out against D, pero feeling ko may ginagawa si Elvin in the whole longevity ng Black Widow natin na pwedeng ikabagal ng FERVID or ikasira nga ng timing nga nila. And guess what, Mochi? What happened in the first half was just pure bliss para kay Elvin kasi every time, every effort na makikita nga nila si D, it's always a 2v1, a 3v1, and in the worst case possible happened in the second half na kung saan si D ang susunod dapat para maging second entry, pero habang di pa tumatagal napipilas na nga siya kagad no? 15 huge kills para nga sa kanya, but I do believe those 11 deaths ang nagbigay para sa Virtus.pro ng isang magandang daan papunta nga panalo nga dito no? And would you believe it, Tracifer, Lance, and J. Kim, tenured players being outclassed by the Golden Boy, the Dark Prince, ang hari ng Tondo, Yobib, with a 19-9
Grabe.
scoreline no? That is a full-on effort para sa Virtus.pro na lahat talaga ng dadaan sa site, kaya nga nalang depensahan, at pag kami naman ang papasok sa site, bebasicin lang namin yan.
Yeah, that is also something that I wanted to point out, no? The moment na ma-activate itong si Yobib at yung agimat niya, minsan magtataka ka, how the heck does he live that long in moments where everything is chaotic at nagkakagulo ang lahat, pero he always often finds a way in order to get sometimes not just one kill but multiple all throughout that. At kaya naman set MVP natin dito si Yobib ngayon with like what you mentioned 2.11 na KD natin. So congratulations, another one. It is refreshing. Hindi pala siya refreshing, no? Parang nagsasalit-salit lang sila. If it's not KSA, it is Cetra. If it's not Cetra, it is Yobib. Certain occasions, we have Eldin and as well as si Kel are dito sa ating MVPs. Pero it's nice na nakita natin uli sila dito.
Well, ganun talaga, Mochi, no? Sumunod lang talaga tayo sa script na ginawa ng ating
Yeah.
mga director. At the end of the day, pag may laban ng Virtus.pro, alam mo kung saan direction ka titingin. FERVID had the chance, pero chance lang talaga. Nandun Black Widow was a map favorable para kay J-Kim at kay A7J. But it all ended by this one man na ang tanging pakailang ay hindi pigilan ang pagpindot ng mouse one. That is Yobib, my friend. At ito na nga ang ating summary kung ano nga ba ang nangyari sa series na to, no? Virtus.pro always having the last laugh, at ang hari nga ng Tondo ng CROSSFIRE is absolutely bulldozing everyone right now. Doon pa lang sa ginawa nga nila on Black Widow and as well as Eagle Eye. Pero kung uhulmahin mo naman, FERVID had a very good job trying to create some very good macro na pwede nga nating tutukan sa mga susunod nga na laban. But till then, no, Virtus.pro will be ending the day na may pinakamalupit na ngiti nga hanggang magkabilang tenga. No? Kung saan pinakita lang talaga nila kung bakit nga sila currently ang isa sa mga pwedeng maging champion ng Master C.
Yeah, that is true. Pero okay na rin to for FERVID din, no? Na nalaman nila na maaga what could be. Parang ano na to kumbaga salamin itong si Virtus.pro. Yung mga trials of fire natin dito na makes them realize what some things that they can actually improve further and what not. And seems like they've been able to realize that this early as well, no? So, maganda dito, as time goes by, mas magiging madali ito sa kanila in order to perfect it. Pero, match MVP natin is going to be Cetra with a 1.45 KD, Mr. Consistent, and Mr. Pop-Off on that sniper rifle as well. Dude, ano ang bago?
Pero no, medyo na-overlook nga din talaga natin si Cetra ng bahagya. Medyo nagko-contradict yun, no? Overlook tas si Cetra, palagi naman natin napapansin yan. Actually,
Yes.
Yobib had a very amazing second half, pero nakakalimutan natin na Cetra was the vital player kung bakit nagiging 4v5, yung 4v3 nagiging 3v3 pa na pumapabor para dito sa Virtus.pro. And because of him, yung mga usual 2v4s, mas nagiging madali talaga para nga dito sa VP, no? So talagang nahanap ng FERVID yung mga magagandang angulo on the early round, pero sa early lang talaga. Kellar is a huge influence kung saan talaga dapat didiskarte si Cetra, and Cetra is utilizing his micro mechanics talaga para lahat ng laban ay maging A-okay talaga para sa player na to, no? So, goes to show na talagang wala talagang kumukupas dito, no? sa side ng Virtus.pro. Kalabaw lang talaga ang tumatanda, pero hindi ang Virtus.pro.
Tsaka dude, I feel like parang pwede na natin sabihin, no, nakagkainabutan mo ng tier dito si Cetra, parang iisang makinarya na yun eh. Parang kamay niya na yun, yung sniper rifle na yun eh. Sa kung gaano ka natural ito pagka hawak-hawak niya. So, I guess it's also nice kasi I believe magkakaroon din tayo ng really quick and short interview para mga musta din dito sa ating winning team later on. And in a bit, we will be able to hear ano nga ba ang mga pinagdaanan nila dito, no? Bakit nagkaroon ng 2-1, bakit hindi 2-0, ano ang mga naging operasyon nila dito. Internally, malalaman natin yan maya-maya and we're just waiting for that one as well.
Talaga si Cetre, no? Mas mabilis pa sa alas 4 kung pumitik ng DRG talaga. And I feel like that was the bane
Diba?
of FERVID kung paano nga ba talaga sila tuluyan natalo. And I believe nakakarinig na talaga ako ng info dito mula sa ating director Mochi. Baka pwede mo nang iba to sa ating MVP.
Ayan na, hindi na kailangan ba to kasi nandito na muna ang ating mga
Ito yung
casters
MVP.
muna. Ito muna si
The real
MVP na.
MVP. Oh my God.
Ito pala. Guys, bakit daw siya MVP? Siya lang naman kasi ang bumoto ng 2-1 sa seryeng yun. At siya na ang nakahawak ng may pinakamataas na win rate sa aming mga talent. Medyo magyayabang muna si Sneaky ng mga susunod na araw. Pero pagbibigyan, Mr. 100% win rate, yan na nga pala. Si Sneaky Frog. Shoutout nga pala sa kanya. Pero yun, isang replay ulit, Mochi. Linisin ulit natin. Baka kailangan lang na malupit na intro ni Mr. Pero parang hindi na ata. Ayan na siya, pre. Cetra,
Hello.
congratulations. Welcome to the champion stage. Ikaw nga ang ating MVP nga ngayon. Kamusta ka naman, Cetra? Kamusta ang performance natin?
Okay naman po. Masaya, syempre. Matama.
Yun.
Gagawa ko yung
Parang lagi
wala
naman
pa ako.
tumatama.
Yun po.
Sige, Mochi, banata man ang tanong.
Ayun. So, I am really curious ano ang nangyari sa ating second map at parang medyo napatid ata tayo ng bahagyado na sa Ankara.
Ay, yung sa Angara po. Kanina po, sobrang dami na po namin miscoms. Right po. Tapos medyo parang dahil po sa mga error tumamlay po. Pero naka-reset din naman po kami.
Yan.
Yan, pinakamalakas na reset na nakita ko talaga, no? Nung pumatak talaga yung Black Widow, parang lahat talaga ng makinarya ng Virtus.pro gumagana talaga. Pero ito yung Cetra, no? Feeling ko di mo to sasagutin ng hustong-gusto. Pero since 2024 ka pa, kanto ka consistent sa pag-aartik talaga, no? Pwede pa bulong naman kung paano ba nagiging consistent ang isang Cetra.
Practice lang, yung pinapatraining sa akin ni Coach, ginagawa ko ng lagi. Tapos yung lakas ng loob.
Lakas ng loob, guys.
Yun.
Okay.
That is a good
Gets.
key.
Okay.
Note,
Okay,
yeah.
Sneaks, pagkatapos na ito, 8-bait kaagad tayo. Lalakasan ko yung lakas ng loob ko talaga. Sure ako dyan. Pero Boss Cetra, no, with that MVP-like performance, syempre, kailangan namin ng isang magandang mensahe para sa'yo, no? Well, hindi ka lang basta MVP. Kailangan bigyan mo rin kami ng isang pasabog, no? So, Cetra, baka may gusto kong batiin dyan, shoutout, or mensahe sa mga susunod mong mga kalaban. Ikaw na bahala dyan, Bossing Cetra. Banat!
Yung sa akin po, shoutout po sa Virtus.pro, sa team ko, and may coach sa 6-man namin, tapos yung sa family ko, and syempre yung sa Virtus.
Okay. Yan, shoutout din sa iyo, Boss Yobi, no? Congratulations nga sa inyo. Boss Cetra, congratulations sa kabuuan ng Virtus.pro for this amazing opener at sa inyong panalo nga. Good luck sa mga susunod yung laban.
Thank you.
And there you have it. Parang sobrang simple, sobrang bilis, sobrang grounded ang ating naging interview with them, and it's pretty straightforward din kung ano ang nangyari nga din, no? Yung mapang nawala sa kanila, simpleng miscoms, and they've been able to reset after that one. Sometimes it's all about the mindset nga rin talaga and how much confidence that you would be able to take and how much risk you're willing to accept, no, na meron dito, at they've been able to do all that again for the first day dito sa ating week 1.
May talas na memorya talaga, no, ang Virtus.pro. Hindi sila nakakalimot sa kung ano nga ba talaga yung nagpalakas sa kanila dito sa Black Widow, no. Their consistent barrages of attacks ng blacklist, pati yung pagdi-default nga nila na hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin nasusolusyonan ng mga ibang teams, talagang parang yun yung nagiging susi nga nila kung bakit may Virtus.pro pa rin sa loob na ang Black Widow. Pero eto na nga, guys, no, para binibigyan na nga tayo ng konting patustada dito ni CROSSFIRE Philippines, kasi ang parating na laban na to ay hindi para sa mahihinang puso. Ang laban ng dalawang Impact hopefuls from last year, pero ngayon nakatungtong na sa master stage, Moji.
Grabe, no? Ito yung nakaka-excite talaga kasi dito mo masasabi na medyo magiging malapit talaga ang ating laban dito for Alliance Gaming versus JY Davao Esports. Dude, really excited ano ang magiging outcome natin dito, anong mga level ups and pagpaganda ang mga inihanda nila dito, no? Malalaman natin yan maya-maya.
Nakaka-excite nga naman talaga, no? It's the battle of the fragging IGLs, no? Raya laban dito kay Abdel, and that's going to be very very much exciting, no? Pero baka na-overlook lang din natin yung mga ibang matchups na yan, kaya let us know in the comments guys kung sino nga ba ang inaabangan nyo para sa laban ng JY laban nga sa Alliance Gaming. Nakakalain mo nga naman ang agwat ng isang taon ay napakalaki, Mochi, from Impact, no? Even qualifying for playoffs, pero in-overtake nila lahat ng competition now heading into the master stage with a chance to qualify for summer as well, and hopefully EWC na parang simbilis lang talaga ng pagpikit, mamaya na EWC na. Pero nakaka-excite nga naman, Mochi. Di ko po makontain yung sarili ko. Pero ang pinaka na-excite rin talaga ako sa interview. Feeling ko talaga maraming masasagot yung JY tsaka Alliance Games. Alliance Games? Alliance Gaming!
Wait lang.
Gaming!
Parang parang merong chat.
Yung likod ni Dadom nabali nung sinabi ko yun, no? Naramdaman mo, Mochi?
Oo, parang sumakit din yung likod ko doon nung binanggit mo yung Alliance. ano pa rin?
Sige na, break na!
Sige na, break na muna tayo at kami ay magbabalik para sa laban ng JY Esports and as well as Alliance Gaming.